There's a line in the sand, so who do you favor?
Yeah, all of these politicians gon' pay. They're leading the people astray. They pushing the needle, they want you to be in the fetal, so we need to pray. Give me that green light, I'm extreme right, and I stay ready for a street fight. If you mind your biz, stop pushing the evil on kids, won't be no beef right, but there is now when we ready. Look, who wanna get it? I wanna live, but the Bible says it'll be deadly. We in the end times, I defend mine, I'm a Christian, don't wanna be Freddy. But you pushing us over the levee, with your Baphomet trying to cast a hex, now I have to flex on you heavy, and I hope you're ready. Cause everything burning down, I'm in the word and I'm learning now. Earth is a curse and it feel like a hearse, but I know that Satan is furnace bound, need a fresh start and I admit it. The best part is I'm with it. Got the Kevlar with the head guard, we gon' press hard to the finish.
We need a crusade, go and destroy all of the temples of the new age. Restoring the life God with the 2A. You don't read your Bible, they was too cray. We need a new page, think we need a crusade. I'm the salt of the world and I won't lose flavor. Crusader, there's a line in the sand, so who do you favor? Crusader,
think we need a crusade. Times are getting too gay. They're coming after us, but I'm strapped up and I'm keeping my two-way. Planned Parenthood need a burn, and everybody need turn. But no question, it's a lesson that everybody gon' learn. You break the law of God, then you gon' pay the piper. The shepherd is calling your name, but you obey the viper. If we go Old Testament, then y'all gon' need a diaper. I'm with my brigade, I'm ready to fade, and I'm the sniper. All these altars to Baal, they gon' fail. Your pagan gods and major frauds, and they leading y'all to hell. These demons got a grip, I know that God could break the spell. This can go two ways. Restore the life of God upon the land and get the crusade. Which one?
We need a crusade, go and destroy all of the temples of the new age. Restoring the life of God with the 2A. You don't read your Bible, they was too cray. We need a new page, think we need a crusade. I'm the salt of the world and I won't lose flavor. There's a line in the sand, so who do you favor? Crusader.
The lyrics are awful, but it's well produced, it sounds professional, it sounds good, and so it's easy to hear those things and not fully take in the messaging in those words. It's so sinister, and putting out the messages that he puts out through music is really, really dangerous.
And they say that we dangerous, dangerous. Not too many that can hang with us, hang with us. Some other Christians ain't the same as us, same as us. They playing games, they'll never bang with us. We dangerous, and they say that we dangerous, dangerous. Not too many that can hang with us, hang with us. Some other Christians ain't the same as us, same as us. They playing games, they'll never bang with us. We dangerous.
They label us extreme, probably cause I got the beam and I got the living water. I'm connected to the stream. The Holy Spirit speaking to me lately in my dreams. LeBron will never be a king. Jesus coming with the rings. He undefeated. I guess I'm worse off than the rest. Took out your favorite rapper, they still calling me a guest. I passed the test, they wanna ban my name. Such a sad thing. Cats and lame, they wanna Andrew Tate me, that's their campaign. Sad to say, they pushing evil on the kids now. This is where we stand and this is where we put our fists down. Twisting up the Bible just to fit you, won't you sit down? Sin will get you lit, so don't you slip, forget your chip now. Bill Gates buying up the farmland. Elon putting chips up in your brain, but what's the harm, man? And I'm the scary guy, not very wise, look at your heart, man. You let him put the poison in your arm, but I'm the harsh man. I told you about the dark plan.
They say that we dangerous, dangerous. Not too many that can hang with us, hang with us. Some other Christians ain't the same as us, same as us. They playing games, they'll never bang with us. We dangerous, and they say that we dangerous, dangerous. Not too many that can hang with us, hang with us. Some other Christians ain't the same as us, same as us. They playing games, they'll never bang with us. We dangerous.
Some other Christians don't get banned like us. We dangerous. dangerous. Probably high up on the cannabis. That angel dust, I can see they very glamorous, but flavorless. They working overtime to cancel us. We dangerous, danger, danger, going Power Ranger. Now it's time to shine. They label me a threat, I know that I've been on their mind. My music is the devil, wait for Cardi B's, it's fine. I never settle, go to war with all the demons on the dime. Hey, get the 9, I'm going boom, boom, boom on that fact check. We just want the truth, we see you commies with the tactics. We giving the facts about the vax, forget your lab techs. About to go galactic with the hatchet on your fat necks. I'm born again, but y'all keep making me repent now. I know my breastplate is straight, got a couple dents now. Know I'll probably make it into heaven looking spent now. At least I'll fit in with the disciples, I'm content now.
They say that
Dangerous.
dangerous, dangerous. Not too many that can hang with us. Hang with us. Some other Christians ain't the same as us. Same as us. They playing games, they'll never bang with us. We dangerous. And they say that we dangerous, dangerous. Not too many that can hang with us. Hang with us. Some other Christians ain't the same as us. Same as us. They playing games, they'll never bang with us. We dangerous.
I'm in the world, but not of it. I praise God every day and I love it. I say what I want and I say what they want. I stand for the truth and what's right and they don't. Life is simple, it's no puzzle. Common sense will tell you not to wear a muzzle. Fear no evil, trust no people. When in doubt, shout, I'm a believer. I fear no man, though the world is broken. God, shine your light on me. I fear no man, though the world is broken. God, shine your light on me.
I offend everybody, the left, right, in the middle. Blame my parents because I've been this way since I was little. It used to be normal, now everybody praying to crystals. No wonder why it's so easy for the devil to trick you. They treat you like dogs, putting muzzles all on your faces, forcing kids to wear them in schools. Doesn't this seem outrageous? They ban Bible scriptures on TikTok.
Let's go to
because they
Target!
hate to
Let's go to
replace
Target!
government. Many since
Get
case
some
they-
PlayStations! Let's go to Target!
I hit the wrong thing. Okay, we got it. Cool. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. What's going on? What's up, Leah? What's up, Chuck? What is he saying? Trump and Yahoo conference summary. Peace in the East. Yahoo. Netanyahu. I was gonna. Well, I wasn't. I was looking at this morning. I went to bed before it started. Yahoo basically says it's written in the Bible, blessings and cursings from the Jews, refuse to take questions. As they walk off, you can faintly hear Trump say, stupid bitch, and lady says, I know. He's talking about Netanyahu, or he's talking about her? What is this? Send it to me. Put it in the Discord under like politics or interesting news or something. What's up, John? Orthospergen in the chat. Protestant interpretations of the Bible are pretty silly. That's a pretty silly comment. That's a pretty silly comment right there. You think that there's just broad Protestant interpretations of the Bible? I think there's some pretty silly Catholic interpretations of the Bible too. And then that would be individual interpretations of the Bible can be silly. And then when those individuals decide to make a whole branch of Christianity, that's silly. There's no like Protestant interpretations of the Bible. Like the Protestants have a list. This is how we interpret the Bible here. No, that's dumb. Why don't you join the Orthodox Church? Because I am a Christian. I follow Christ. I don't follow a church. I don't follow any church. I'll go to an Orthodox church. I like it. But no, I've already joined the body of Christ. So I'm not Catholic. You hurt my feelings when you don't say happy birthday. Happy birthday. You ready? Everybody. John Castle's birthday today. Let's sing him his birthday song. 3, 2, 1. This is your birthday song. It isn't very long. You get more done during the night? Yeah, I sleep during the day. I just woke up. Morning, it's 6 in the afternoon. It's my morning time. I just woke up. He was talking about the reporter that started asking questions after they said no questions. Oh, okay. So he said, stupid bitch. Hot mic. Damn, Trump. Dude, I got to see that. I got to see that. Huh. That's funny. Ugh. I thought you were saying he called Netanyahu a stupid. That would be a problem. Then we'd be going to war with Israel. That would be a mess. All right, we got more violence in America. Another week of shooting after shooting after shooting. I was on VK the other night, and Marte said, "Don't say terrorist on YouTube. Don't say. Watch how many times. Count how many times I say terrorist tonight. We're gonna say it a lot of times. We're gonna say shooting repeatedly. We're gonna be talking about multiple shootings. Some of them don't qualify as mass shootings. It depends what the feds have our current mass shooting number at. Remember when it was 1.3, then it was 2.6. Now I think it's 4. I think it's 4 people to qualify as a mass shooting. So we do have one, the Mormon church shooting, and apparently that guy was he hated Mormons, which is it's. I'm not saying it's justified. I'm just saying, and I'm not saying it's okay to do that. I'm saying, before I say it, because I know as soon as I say it, people are going to take it wrong. It's understandable that somebody would do that because people have a lot of anger towards religious institutions. So when somebody says, I hate the Mormons, and then they go, oh, I'm like, oh, I get it. Yeah, this person was probably raised Mormon, and then they turned against God. They hated the religion. They hated certain aspects of Mormonism. Maybe he wasn't born Mormon. Maybe he just hates having people knock on his door every Saturday, you know? Not justified, crazy guy, but I get that motive. Like, that's a motive that I understand. It'd be like if somebody said they killed their wife for cheating on them. Not justified, not reasonable, but I understand the motive. Sometimes you don't understand the motive. I guess I understand the motive of the, I understand a whole bunch of different angles of motives for the Charlie Kirk incident. Sometimes people just do some crazy stuff, and I'm like, I don't understand why. Demons, that's why. Then I understand it. If you did that and then go to war because you called him a bitch, yeah, that would be crazy. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna go back into the beginning of the month. We skipped over this one. It flew under the radar, and then they started pushing it because it's another white man. But they don't want to tell you that he said free Palestine at the New Hampshire shooting. Then the ICE facility shooting. We'll tie that in. We'll segue that in to the ICE protests that are going on right now. Antifa's running wild again, constantly. Dude, how people get mad at Trump because Antifa starts rioting every weekend when Trump is in office. Like, that's, you know, when Biden was in office, Antifa wasn't rioting every weekend. That's because they were getting their way. What do you mean? He works for Antifa. Or they work for him. I don't care about it. Shut up, John. Shut up. Chris Raid, How come it's not telling me he rated? Oh, there it is. It just popped up. Cool. Thank you, Chris. Crew. What up, crew? I don't know if he knows where I get that from when I call him crew. It's from Dashy. Dashy XP is a gaming. He's funny. He does Mario Maker. Well, he used to make Mario Maker videos, but he always says, "Me and my boy crew." Instead of saying Chris, like I'm about to get my hair did with crew. It's so weird because Mormons are really nice. I watched a documentary about the Mormon church the other day. I've known a lot about the Mormon church forever. I knew about, I think it was around the 60s or the 80s. They rebranded and they wanted to destigmatize themselves and be disconnected from the polygamy and getting chased out of every state in eastern United States. So they rebranded and they used to have real long beards. They would shave their beards, clean shaven. They used to have long hair and long beards because they were supposed to let their hair grow. But they totally changed that and they started clean shaven, shaved head, white shirt. One of the bishops said, if we can't afford to have a clean white shirt, then how can we show the world that we're Christians? Basically, you need to have a clean white shirt to be a Christian. So they rebranded from the Mormons to the LDS. And now a lot of them, the modern one, don't even know. If you call them a Mormon, they'll be like, well, we're not actually Mormons. We're LDS. They don't even know that they are actually Mormons, and that the true Mormons would be like, no, we're Mormons. But so they rebranded to become the American family. And that's where all that niceness comes. That's where because part of the religion was like, you need to be the nice American family. You need to have clean shaven men, fresh white shirts, family, which is, it's an honorable message. Unfortunately, the reason they want such a big family is because they think they get their own planet when they die and they have to populate it. So they need to have a lot of family. Inbred and very polite. They are very... Now, if you know Mormons like I know Mormons, you find out that that's a facade. That niceness is a facade. Really, they're the types that'll smile in your face, but they want your ass clapped. They're the types that they'll smile at you. Hi, how you doing? And it feels like such a fake smile because it is. And then as soon as they're past you, they're like, come on. And hardworking. I don't know. I would never think of the Mormons as hardworking, but they're the richest. Anyway, this isn't the Mormon episode, but I guess we are going to talk about a Mormon church shooting. So I guess it's kind of relevant. Antifa terrorists, National Guard going to Portland, Antifa riots, shootings everywhere, mass chaos, violence in the nation, all that. And then there's not really a good way to segue into this. I guess we'll just make it work. But then, does Tylenol cause autism? Is it the Tylenol, or is this just a big cover-up because it's actually the vaccines? But they don't want to say that because people are starting to die of measles because now everybody won't take vaccines, which I don't know if that's even true. At least that's what the story is. Ever since Trump came in, people just started dying of measles. It has nothing to do with letting a bunch of immigrants flood across the border, even though most of the measles outbreaks come from foreigners. Interesting. But it's the vaccines, guys. So we can't blame the vaccines because then people stop taking vaccines. So what do? We blame the Tylenol. There must be something going on with like Tylenol executives or some sort of stock. You got to follow the money on that one. I don't know. I don't got time to do it. But that's the plan. That's what we're going to talk about. We don't have a final segment. If I have any time, there's a lot of news this week. So if I have any extra time at the end, maybe we'll start doing some debate prep. I'm going to have to do a couple debate prep streams. I'm putting my folder together. I got to do a stream putting the folder together. We got to get the folder holder. And then I got to do a stream writing an opening, chilling with y'all while I write a opening. October 14th. I believe that's a Tuesday. 2 days before my birthday. We're debating drug legalization. I can't believe I haven't done this one earlier. This is like an important topic to me. This is like a personal, important topic to me. The wording is worded in a way so that he can be slippery, and basically we're going to come to agreements. And he's going to say, oh, well, we found, like, the debate topic should be, should drugs be legalized in the U.S.? He say yes, I say no. Then throughout the debate, we find some middle ground and some common ground, and we can agree on some regulations. But the way that it's worded is legalize all the illegal drugs with heavy government regulation. So it's like he's already putting into the, I don't know if Terriot came up with that wording or if Easy came up with that wording, but if Terriot did, then he's basically putting a concession in the opening, which is what I would, you get what I'm saying? Like, it's making it easier for him to kind of win the debate. So, because then he's going to say stuff like, well, what about for medicine? We should legalize it and just regulate it to just be medicine. And we should have age limits, and we should not let people do it in public. And it's like, okay, well, but I'm going to have to figure out a way to make sure that I say, no, keep it illegal. And then you can regulate it. How about regulate the illegal drug? Don't regulate the legal drugs. Venture comparing them to Amish or hardworking. That's what I was thinking when he said hardworking. I think of the Amish. Do the Amish people raise a barn by Monday? Soon I'll raise a nutter. Milking at the udder. You only have one birthday, folks. Everything else is just an anniversary. I like that. I think we need to start doing conception days. We need to start doing conception day. Because what's special about the birth? You just popped out of a vagina? We need to do conception day. I'm actually already 38 years old. Am I turning 38 or 39? I don't even remember. I think I'm turning 38. I need to stop talking about it. It's not a thing yet. I hate when people say, you say, how old are you? And they're like, I'm almost 38. Okay, so how old are you? 37? What do you mean you're almost? Anyway, where are my articles? Let's get into these articles. We got some news to go through. So we're going to go back in time a little bit. I believe this happened September 1st. Where's the article from? But stuff is coming out about it now. So this New Hampshire shooting, a brief court hearing was held Monday afternoon in connection with Saturday's deadly shooting at Sky Meadow Country Club. This article came out September 22nd. So maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was just maybe it wasn't from also Tyler Robinson's second court hearing was this morning. I haven't watched it yet. Is there I was going to try to watch it live. I was awake putting together this show, but I couldn't find a live feed of it. We don't want to know that day, bruh. That's true. If I had a conception day, if we celebrated our conception day, essentially we're celebrating our parents getting it on. You are turning 38 because we are 2 weeks apart. Ah, okay. You're older than me, Marilyn? Damn old lady. Damn old lady out here. 2 weeks older than me. Man, you're like my mama. Sorry, Marilyn. I don't date people who are older than, I don't date women who are older than me. I'm not trying to marry my mama. 2 weeks? What? No folders. Delete them. I'm not deleting the folders. Okay. Nashua, New Hampshire. We have a shooting. He looks like an Antifa punk. The left is saying he's a white man. Look at all these white men doing all these shootings. We stopped reporting on gang violence in Chicago, though. But we got white men doing shootings. Some of them we have to call white women, even though they're actually white men. Marilyn is older than me. The Amish built your barn? Nice. What'd you pay them? Do they like take money? They do take money. They have businesses. I watched another documentary about the Amish, and they moved from farming as the focus of their economy and what holds up their way of life. They moved from farming to a gig economy. Now they're out here selling chairs on Etsy. And they're doing great. All right. Nashua, New Hampshire, I keep digressing. This is called the Digression Show. You're old as diamonds. What? Simp. That just sounds too nice. A brief court hearing was held Monday afternoon in connection with Saturday's deadly shooting at the Sky Meadow Country Club in Nashua, New Hampshire. Hunter Nadeau, 23 of Nashua, is charged with murder in the death of 59-year-old Robert Stephen Desserre. Why does everybody sound like a French-ass name? They got a bunch of French-ass names. Officials allege Nadeau shot Desserre and two other people inside the country club Saturday. Nadeau waived his arraignment, but a hearing was held in which the judge informed Nadeau that he would remain in custody. A probable cause hearing set for October 1st. After that probable cause hearing, the case is going to be adjourned to Superior Court, and we'll have 90 days to present indictments against the defendant, said Senior Assistant Attorney General Peter Hinckley. Autopsy conducted by the Office of the Chief Medical Examiner determined that the cause of Desserre's death was multiple gunshot wounds and that the manner of death was, according to the Attorney General, the manner of the death was homicide. According to the New Hampshire Attorney General's office, Nadeau walked in the club with a handgun and opened fire. Restaurant employee and a patron were shot and injured, and 4 other patrons were also hurt. Here's a picture of this guy. Is this video? This video's probably got an ad, and I didn't set up to set it on play, so probably won't watch this video. This is the guy. Yeah, he just gives me evil villain Antifa vibes just looking at him. But the interesting line that they're kind of flying under the radar, and they're trying to downplay it, like maybe this didn't happen. Some shooting witnesses said they heard Nadeau yelling phrases like "Free Palestine," but investigators said they do not believe the shooting was hate-related. Okay. And this is why hate crimes are so stupid. I've said this over and over and over again, and I'll keep saying it. All murder is hate murder. There's no such thing as a hate murder and a not hate murder. A love murder? There's no love murder. It's hate crime. What do you mean love crime? There ain't no love crimes. No mutton. So, no mutton? I don't know what that means, but he's yelling "Free Palestine." It looks like an Antifa guy. Looks like a duck. Quacks like a duck. Swims like a duck. Probably a damn turkey. Could be a turkey. Nadeau was arrested in the neighborhood nearby. Officials said he is a former employee of the country club and had not worked at the business for a year. He got fired. Some shooting witnesses said they heard Nadeau yelling. I already read that. We don't have any evidence at this time that Mr. Nadeau was motivated by hate-based motivation. In fact, I think there's any motivation to shoot up a country club is hateful. What kind of aggravator is this? Or enhancer? Same thing. What kind of enhancer is hate? We're going to add a aggravating factor to this case to enhance the charge. Hate. hate was the motivation. But if you're yelling free Palestine, you're all mental illness aggravator, mitigator. I guess mental illness is a mitigator. That's dumb. We are aware statements that were reported that he made, circumstances whether he actually made them, under what circumstances he made them are being investigated. But if you're in a country club shooting at free Palestine, and then I think he said the kids are all right or something like that. Is that like a Blink 182 reference? BB is spared as long as he recognizes I'm BB. BB is my buddy. Who the heck is BB? Talking about Netanyahu? Anyway, so this happened. Suspect and victims. Motives of shooter are still unknown, even though he was yelling free Palestine. See? And then NBC, I think they have the free Palestine line in here one time. Widow speaks out. I think I have a video of that. Are they not going to let me watch the video? Let's watch this.
This morning, trying to determine a motive after a deadly shooting over the weekend at a Nashua.
Yeah, this mother says apparently her son jumped in the way of the bullets. They always got to give you one of these stories, which is nice. They always got to give you a story of somebody that, you know, was the hero that day. And I think that's to be expected. I always think about if I was at work and a dang shooter came in, what would I do? I don't know. I think I would like move towards an exit, but also be like yelling to people, come on, this way, this way, this way. Let's go this way, but keep my eye. You got to keep eyes on the shooter because you don't want to like look away and then he's behind you.
What country club?
We have multiple casualties.
Police say the suspect, 23-year-old.
But I don't know if I'm jumping in front of no bullets unless it's like a little girl or something. Then maybe. But I don't know. I'd probably get out my cell phone and try to start recording it. I'm one of those weirdos.
Hunter Nadeau strode into the Sky Meadow Country Club with diners in one room and a wedding reception next door. They say he used a handgun to shoot an employee, then entered one of the club's restaurants and shot 2 other people, fatally wounding 59-year-old.
So 3 injured, 1 dead. I forget if I think mass shooting has to be currently, I think it's like 4 fatalities, or maybe it's 4 injuries. I don't remember. We've looked it up before.
Robert DeCesar, a father of 3. Family members say DeCesar confronted the shooter.
Did you see how Charlie's ring changed fingers when shot? That was one of the very earliest theories, and it's a bad one. It's a weak one. We talked about that a couple weeks ago. He was constantly taking his ring off and fiddling with it and playing with it. You see him do it in the video, so that's all that is. Sometimes he would just be on stage with it in his hand playing with it. I don't know if that's a good idea, by the way. You're going to lose your ring fiddling with it like that. 3 fatalities is a mass shooting now? That sounds right.
Giving his wife and daughter time to get underneath the table and survive.
It's disbelief. It's absolute disbelief and denial. This, when they said a man's been killed, you say, but not my son. It can't be my son.
NBC News was not immediately able to reach an attorney for Nadeau, who police.
Nadeau. Look at this guy. Yeah. Look, they all look similar. They got that dang Antifa look. I'm not saying this guy's for sure Antifa. This is a news show. I can't make those claims. But he looks like one.
Say lived in Nashua and previously worked at the country club. He's now charged with reckless second-degree murder in a shooting that some wedding guests initially thought were balloons popping.
We heard about 6 shots and everybody ducked for cover. And
officials praising the efforts of the restaurant's customers who tried to intervene.
I want to extend my heartfelt gratitude to the patrons in the restaurant who acted selflessly and quickly with more care for their fellow citizens than for themselves to help keep this a contained event.
The accused shooter is expected to be arraigned later today. Authorities saying that more charges are likely. Officials at Sky Meadow Country Club said they're cooperating with.
I don't know. This Free Palestine bit seems kind of important when we're talking about a motive. I don't know why you got to scroll through a huge article to find one line about that. And it's like, this hasn't been confirmed yet, even though multiple, see, witness reports, shooter shouted Free Palestine during the attack. About those reports, DeSayer told the AP that people should beware the speculation and utter nonsense that is being posted about what happened and why. Did I just say a boot? Which was only making it harder for everyone involved, including the police who are trying to do their job. Well, why are there multiple reports on this? And why is all the media running with it? Even you know they don't want to, but they still run one line about it, and then they quickly try to debunk it. But they're putting it in the articles. That tells me it's probably true. If MSNBC, NBC, USA Today, they're hiding it in the article somewhere, and then they're quickly trying to debunk it and say, but, just because he was shouting Free Palestine does not mean he was one of those people. Up here, camera. And nowadays, that doesn't even mean anything. Nowadays, damn conservatives support terrorists too, I guess. So as long as we can hate Israel, we'll support terrorism, I guess. I guess that's what the right's doing now. Is that what we're doing now? Anyway. So there's that one. Then earlier in the week, we have the ICE facility shooting. Now, this was a weird one because at first I heard he was like an ICE protester type, and he was shooting ICE agents at the ICE facility. But then you find out he was shooting detainees. So now you got more further, angry, violent divide happening here. I'm okay with divide, but it's going to be bad when we start killing each other. But you got the right saying, oh, he's shooting up an ICE facility because they're protesting ICE. This is what these crazy lefties do. But then you got the left saying, no, he's a brown person hater. So he's shooting all the brown. And also, how do you snipe a detainee? I guess if it's an open air facility, I guess that makes sense. Let's read about it. Detainee shot in attack on Dallas ICE. This is not the one I want. I just want the breakdown of it first. I don't have a basic breakdown of it. I guess we'll have to just start here then. Detainee shot in attack on Dallas ICE facility identified. Source says, here's what we know about the victims. Miguel Angel Garcia Hernandez is on life support following Wednesday's shooting. The wife of one of the detainees shot in the attack on Immigrations and Customs Enforcement facility in Dallas earlier this week says her husband is nearly unrecognizable, unconscious, and ravaged by bullets as machines do work on keeping him alive. The detainees identified by a source familiar with the investigation as Miguel Angel Garcia Hernandez, Jose Lopez Consuelo Guadalupe, of Mexico, Jose Andres Bordanos Molina of Venezuela, and Norlan Guzman Fuentes. Fuentes were shot while they were in a van at the facility's fortified Sally Port, a controlled entry port commonly found in prisons and on military bases. Okay, yeah, that's definitely seems like he's targeting the detainees, not the ICE agents. The shooter has been identified by investigators as Joshua John, 29. Not typical John spelling. Jan? ICE Deputy Director Madison Shahan told Fox News the three victims were awaiting transfer to a longer-term facility. Investigators believe the gunman who died from a self-inflicted gunshot at the scene harbored hatred for the federal government and intended to target ICE personnel and property, even though all three victims were detainees. See, that's what I saw, that he was going there. He's like an Antifa type who's gonna shoot, but you gotta be like aiming at detainees to only hit three detainees and not hit any ICE workers. But this is CNN. Why would CNN? Oh, because the media likes to keep us mind effed and keep us angry at each other. Is that why they do this? Why would you say, like, this doesn't even make sense? He's anti-government. He's targeting ICE. He's an ICE protester, basically. But he only shoots detainees. That doesn't make sense. The tragic irony for this evil plot here is that it was a detainee who was killed and 2 other detainees that were injured. Now, maybe he's just a bad shot. What was the weapon? Nancy Larson acting. They say it's a sniping, or and what's up with snipers all the time? These kids need to stop playing Call of Duty. Everybody thinks they're a damn American sniper. I don't remember it used to be as many like snipers. We had the guy that set the fire and then was sniping firefighters. Trump, Charlie Kirk. There was another one, this one. What's up with all these damn snipers? Sniper, no sniping. A father with a baby on the way. The last time Stephanie Goffney saw her husband, he was smiling, full of life, and waving to her across the courtroom. Then he was quickly detained by ICE. The next time she saw Garcia Hernandez, bullets had torn through his urethra, tailbone, and shoulder. Another struck an artery in his neck that connects to the brain. A nurse estimated the 31-year-old father was shot 8 or 9 times. Damn. Doctors have operated on his stomach. His condition is so critical they weren't sure that he'd survive through the night. I just started crying immediately. He was all swollen, staples in his head, a bunch of tubes going down his throat. He's really in bad shape. I really wouldn't want anyone to see him like that because that's not him. When is this article from? I'm guessing he probably didn't. He probably didn't make it. This is the 27th. This was updated on the 27th. So, does anybody know? By now. He's probably hasn't made it. They chop things up. I don't like CNN. AI beard man. That dude's beard is AI? Him? I don't know. Could be a filter. I don't know. These were human beings. So what do we know about the shooter? Well, let's watch this video. I don't know if I want to watch this video. Inside ICE ride-along shows agents at work the day before the Dallas facility. I don't know if this is worth watching. Let's check it out.
A sniper started shooting from a nearby rooftop and fired indiscriminately at the ICE facility, including a van that was in the Sally Port.
Yeah, I don't think this is really relevant, but this is just them. I guess they were doing a little piece for Fox the day before this happened. And then the next day this happened. But who is the suspect? Who is Joshua John? Dallas shooting suspect identified. Greasy looking. Looking kind of like Daddy Jub when he had a little weight on him. Y'all won't see it, but I see it because I knew him when he was a little thicker and had a little longer hair.
Need to open the door to more
But assuming this is true, we're going to see they like writing on their bullets. Well, we know, according to Fox News and Fox 4 sources, the sniper who killed at least one person at Dallas ICE facility early Wednesday morning was 29-year-old Joshua John. He doesn't look 29.
Put a lot of planning into the deadly attack, but ultimately missed his intended targets. Hello and welcome in, everybody. I'm Casey Stiegel.
Hello, everybody. I'm Heather Hayes. So FBI officials say 29-year-old Joshua John left behind handwritten notes saying he wanted to terrorize ICE employees and...
Okay, so he's an Antifa punk, and he just can't aim. He's played too much Call of Duty. He thought he was going to go in there and snipe out a bunch of ICE agents, and instead he hit the detainees who he's probably fighting for. They're not smart. These people are not smart. They're not skilled. They're just dumb, crazy people. Was the shooter Caucasian? All the shooters are Caucasians, apparently. We don't report on gang violence every weekend in inner cities. Sometimes we will. It just depends on what the narrative needs to be that week.
Interfere with their work. No agents were hurt, but one person in ICE custody was
Copycat
killed.
losers, bunch of
Two
weak
other
sheep.
detainees
Sounds
critically
about right.
wounded. Authorities are still analyzing devices and data confiscated from addresses connected to him. Fox 4's Sean Rabb joining us now in studio with more on this. Sean.
Yeah, and we learned
So that was the building he was shooting from? That looked like it was on ICE property. How did they get there? How did he get onto it? That was an immigration, that was part of the building of the facility. How did he get into the facility?
awful lot about his motive from federal officials today, that Joshua Yawn's anger and hatred was targeted at ICE agents.
Now, remember, this is Fox.
What he did is the very definition of terrorism.
Acting U.S. Attorney in North Texas, Nancy Larson, calls the shooting at the ICE processing facility domestic terrorism.
I'm okay with calling it terrorism because that has a specific meaning, political or religious violence to send a message politically or religiously. But calling it a hate crime. Now, if he was there to kill Mexicans, then they'd say it was a hate crime. That's not terrorism. That's a hate crime. But if you're there to kill government workers, that's not a hate crime. That's terrorism. Make it make sense. Why don't we just get rid of hate crimes and just say terrorism and then crazy murderer guy?
The shooter, Joshua Yawn, not an immigrant, a U.S. citizen, who opened fire on that facility Wednesday morning.
Oh, by the way, we got to hit a goal, guys. Let's do a little goal. Light goal. 10 super chats, any colors. We got to finish raising this money that we already finished for DebateCon. We got to raise more money for other stuff. Y'all want me to go to dang, I don't know if I'm going to go. We'll talk about that in a bit.
Injuring 3 detainees who were restrained and in a transport van when they were hit by bullets from that legally obtained rifle Yawn got in August. He silenced.
Illegally obtained rifle? What kind of rifle was it? Looked like a similar rifle to what Tyler used. We're gonna see the clip. I believe it's a clip. If I say something wrong, gun nuts, don't slaughter me.
His own voice with a self-inflicted gunshot wound, but still speaks through notes FBI agents collected in searches of property.
Have they said how the guns? Have they identified how the guns were purchased? They just said illegally purchased rifle. How he trained. It sounds like he didn't train very well. He probably played Call of Duty. Where the ammunition was purchased, any mental illness, precious criminal history, actual reporting. I think they're going to get to some of that. A lot of times they either bury these or it takes time for them to release all that stuff.
Properties connected to Yawn in Durant, Oklahoma, and Fairview in Collin County.
First, I want to point out that one of these notes or papers, the sniper explicitly states, yes, it was just me.
And why aren't they calling it a manifesto? And why do they all make it so clear that this is just me? This isn't just you. This is a mind plague that's traveling through young, mentally ill men. This Antifa mind plague. But they all want to make sure it's just me, even though there's a bunch of us doing this across the country.
That statement appears to be correct at this point in the investigation. Notably, these loose notes included a game plan of the attack and target area.
You raised all that money for DebateCon, now you try not to go? What are you talking about? I've already got a hotel room. I've already got a ticket. All I need to do is buy a plane ticket, which I'm going to do next Tuesday. What are you talking about, Marilyn? I didn't say I was trying not to go. I was talking about the TPUSA event. I don't know if I'm going to go to that. Oh, yeah, I know what you... No, there's a TPUSA event at Utah tomorrow, and I was going to say, I need to raise money to go to that. I don't actually need to raise money to go to that because the ticket was free. But that was what I was saying. I don't know if I'm going to go. I'm going to DebateCon. Yeah, I've already paid a bunch of money towards it.
Areas at the facility. He called the ICE employees people showing up to collect a dirty paycheck. He wrote that he intended to maximize lethality against ICE personnel and to maximize property damage at the facility.
Larson says Jan, who they believe acted alone, did not intend to shoot any detainees.
Jan specifically intended to kill ICE agents. He fired at transport vehicles carrying ICE personnel, federal agents, and detainees.
But it was 3 detainees restrained and in a transport van who were shot, 1 dying, 2 critically wounded, and that his goal was to maximize injury against ICE personnel and property damage to the processing center.
Evidently, a fair amount of planning, a fair amount of research, a fair amount of hostility toward ICE agents.
Former U.S. Attorney Paul Coggins says the Department of Justice, FBI
and where was
especially, have to keep digging to get to the
Texas?
Root.
So was that all his stuff? Yeah, that's like an Antifa starter kit. Rocks, a damn Coke can, walkie-talkie, a gay bicycle helmet, a skateboard, tennis balls. What the hell's he got tennis balls for? Probably a woman, and he packs them in his pants to make him look like a man. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Joshua Jan was radically turned into a domestic terrorist.
It's far more terrifying than international terrorism.
Who's backing out? I'm not backing out of anything. The heck? Texas? Yeah.
And it's taken a far greater toll on our country than international terrorism.
I was going to say, we got to be fair with our conspiracies here. And it's possible the people of the time who control the media and who control the politics in Texas, but Dallas is blue. I was going to say, like, I could see where this dude's actually like a crazy racist that wanted to kill some prisoners, some brown people. That was his goal. That was his motive. And they made up this manifesto that he wanted to kill ICE agents to swing the narrative so that it wouldn't be, look at these racist white men. But I'm just, conspiracy brain spitballing, theory crafting here. I'm not going alone and being with a bunch of dorks. Well, then you probably shouldn't go to DebateCon because it's only going to be a bunch of dorks. You think like cool guys go to DebateCon? We're all dorks. We're all nerds and dorks. We debate for fun. What do you mean? We debate and play chess. The most exciting, funnest things. And Magic the Gathering. Like
terrorism.
So the investigation continues. While right now the thinking is that Jan acted alone, the investigation is far from over. Now the investigation focuses on how he got to this place where he turned to violence.
Okay, but here's the other thing. Anti-ICE on the bullet. So this is a clip, right? A clip is when it's like a clip would be like 5 bullets on the start. They have what do they call them? The moon clips, or the moon clips that you just drop into like a revolver, and then the 5 bullets on the thing that you put into a rifle like this. That would be a clip. Why are they all connected at the bottom like that? They come like that? I'm not a big gun guy, so I don't know, but that's a clip, right? There's 5 of them connected like that, and you just pop it in. As opposed to a mag where you would put 1 bullet in at a time into the mag. Am I right? I think I'm right. But he wrote anti-ICE on the bullet. See, this is turning out to be a very common theme with these shooters. They put all these inscriptions on their guns and on their bullets. Who was the first person that did this? Was it the Aubrey chick, the transformer that shot up the school? Didn't they have writings on their stuff? Was that the first? Where's this from? Maybe it goes back farther than that. Peterson even saying saying Jordanson. Is it Jordanson? Jordanson. I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. Jordanson. I don't know. I live in Texas, place that's mostly red, and they're not racist. Everyone's pretty good in the community. Yeah, but Dallas is blue, right? So they're inscribing messages on their bullets. This seems to be a common theme that we're seeing. And I want to know what this comes from. I think it is like copycat killing because I think some of we've seen a bunch lately from the guy that shot that church. He had writings all over everything. Then the Tyler Robinson. Now this. But I think it goes back farther. I brought up this point because people are like, what kind of weirdos write messages on their bullets? Do you remember when, who was it? It was, why can't I remember her name right now? The lady that ran against Trump and people thought she was, the lady that Goon likes. The Republican lady, Nikki Haley. Nikki Haley was writing notes on bombs that we were going to drop somewhere in the Middle East. Remember that? So maybe this is an older trend. I remember school children signing bombs during the Iraq War. Yeah, that's what I was just thinking of. So maybe this is an older tradition. And maybe I bet we could find some far back assassins that had like written stuff on their bullets. Interesting. Ever since people from California came homeless, got bad and increasing significantly. That's common. It's common to write on your bullets. Yeah, I bet you, I don't know this, but I wonder if like soldiers do it. Does anybody know? Do soldiers do that when they're like overseas or something? Do they like write notes on their bullets? Yeah, it probably is pretty common. Now that I think about it. It's just not common to see Antifa messages on bullets in America. That's a problem. Maybe we should designate them a terrorist organization. And then just to get a little, because we had a bunch of Fox articles and Fox videos. Let's see what the other side is saying. Let's take a look at Muslim News Today. Al Jazeera. Who is Joshua John? What we know about the Dallas ICE facility shooting. Gunman armed with a rifle opened fire on United States Immigration and Customs Enforcement, killing one detainee and critically wounded two others before taking his own life. Officials reported the shooter left behind ammunition marked with the phrase anti-ICE written in blue. The FBI is investigating the attacks as an act of targeted violence. Acting ICE Director Todd Lyons confirmed that the suspect identified was a man named Joshua John. The shooting comes at a time when ICE has emerged as the sword arm of U.S. President Donald Trump's attempts to deport not only undocumented immigrants, but also legal migrants seen as critical of his administration's there's the bias coming from Al Jazeera. Why did they tell people that? Like, show me a citizen who purposely was deported that shouldn't have been. Don't bring up Kilmar Abrego, the human trafficker wife beater, who we brought back. There aren't any. We're not deporting citizens. This is a lie that the left is telling. Damn Al Jazeera. The attack on the ICE facility also comes 2 weeks after the assassination of conservative political activist Charlie Kirk, an event that led Trump to promise action against what he called left-wing extremists. Police said they got a call about a shooting. 4 people were shot. 1 detainee died. 2 others were taken to the hospital. So 4 people were shot. I heard. Okay, yeah. I thought. Anyway. All 4 were detainees? Isn't that? Killing 1 detainee and critically wounding 2 others. That's 3. So who was the 4th person hit that wasn't critically wounded? Why is nobody talking about that 4th person? Was that an ICE officer? Or did he only hit detainees? A lot of questions. Authorities found bullets throughout the entire building that had punctured into the facility. What type of rifle was it? These despicable, politically motivated attacks against law enforcement are not a one-off, Patel said. We are only miles from Prairieland, Texas, where just 2 months ago, an individual ambushed a separate ICE facility targeting their officers. Yeah, I think this is just a case of this dude was an angry Antifa type who wanted to shoot up an ICE facility, and all he did was hit detainees because he sucks at everything he's ever done in his life. And now he's dead. Anchor babies are next. Deporting them? I don't know if that's going to get pushed through, but also I'm pro doing that, but also when we make changes to laws like that, we don't retroactively go back and get, so like all these people, all these anchor babies are like, oh my God, I've been here my whole life. I've been a citizen. I'm going to lose my citizenship. I don't think that's how it would work. I think they would, if they took away birthright citizenship, if you were already here and a citizen, you would still be a citizen. We don't retroactively, if you change the speed limit on a road and somebody's in jail for going 50 miles over the speed limit, you change the speed limit. You don't get them less of a sentence because it's less of a difference in the speed limit now. We don't retroactively go back and change the laws. If you came in, and you legally became a birthright citizen at the time, then you would still be a citizen. Unless there's something I've seen that's saying they're trying to retroactively go back and deport all of them. But either way, I don't think that's going to fly. Supreme Court is sticking by their interpretation of the 14th Amendment, unfortunately. I think it's the wrong interpretation, but you don't just get to drop a baby on this soil and it's American all of a sudden, and the whole family is American now. It's not how it was intended. But anyway, so that's the ICE agency shooting. And this comes on the heels of, I think last week we talked about it, Trump declaring ICE a terrorist organization, which they should be. Should have been for a while. Dude was trying to do some damage. Looks like a 308 round. Yeah. Yeah, it looked smaller than the 30-06. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not super informed on the gun stuff. But so Trump's going to declare ICE a terrorist agency. ICE facility gets shot up. This is like the second time. I think it's happened more than twice now. Maybe not shooting, but attacks, protests at ICE facilities, blocking vehicles, attacking cars, running up on ICE agents when they're doing their job. This has been happening more and more and more and more. 308 is like a 30 cal. 308 is a 30 cal, like a 30-06. Yes, 308 is slightly smaller, not as much powder. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So, shocker, after this ICE attack happens, we get more ICE protests, more ICE riots, more Antifa ICE riots, and they're rioting. They're back at it again. These people have nothing better to do. Some of these protesters are making $80,000 to $100,000 a year, being imported protesters, paid agitators, whatever you want to call it. And Trump is going to crack down on the people who are funding this. Soros, other guys like that, we're coming for you. So from Homeland Security, days after the Dallas terrorist attack on ICE, rioters gather outside an ICE Broadview, Illinois facility and chant, "Arrest ICE, shoot ICE." So this started stirring up in Chicago and then, of course, Portland. And now Trump is sending, at least this morning, I thought it happened last night, but this morning it was reported that 200 National Guardsmen were being deployed into Portland. I think by now it's probably happened. I haven't looked for any updates on it since I woke up. But In Chicago, this is from Washington. Today, over 200 rioters blocked access to one of the gates in front of the Broadview Processing Center, and another 30 have swarmed another gate and are attempting to forcibly and illegally trespass on federal property. So that justifies Trump bringing in the National Guard and shutting it down. Rioters arrived, but January 6th, guys. But January 6th. Rioters arrived with boxes of fireworks, N95 masks, gas masks, goggles. Yeah, they're not an organization. They're not organized. They don't all show up at the same time and have dude, they have safety people with the green vests. They shoot people and they get away with it in Salt Lake City. They have the green hats, which are the lawyers. Their job is to record, write down, and record and document everything that they see so that they can take these things to trial, so that they can sue the government, so that they can sue the police, et cetera, et cetera. That's what the green hats are for. The green vests are safety. You know, the green vests, they're the ones who shoot people in Salt Lake City and don't go to jail. They're very organized. They're very organized, very much organizational. I just got a $65 parking ticket in P-Town. P-Town. P-Town? Why you spell it like that? Like storming a Capitol building. Another 30 have swarmed another gate, blah, blah, blah. Gas, knee and elbow protection. They got to have knee pads to be sucking a lot of dick. And large quantities of food and water. These lawless rioters began chanting, "Arrest ICE, shoot ICE." And one of the rioters was apprehended with a gun, and it was confiscated by law enforcement. Watch the video. We got a bunch of videos of this. I'm not going to talk about this and read about it so much as we're going to watch videos. But I did want to read the Department of Homeland Security, what they put out. That's what we were just reading. That was this right here. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but these rioters and sanctuary politicians are choosing to side with criminals over American victims. The Midway Blitz operation has resulted in the arrest of hundreds of illegal aliens, including Trinidad Aragua gang members and those with prior criminal histories of murder, sexual assault of a child, sexual assault, felony assault, domestic violence, stalking, drug trafficking, armed robbery, vehicular robbery. So we're deporting criminals. What a horrible thing. What a protest-worthy thing. Let's see this. Did you hear the one guy say, "No, Fed, Fed, Fed"? On the right, when somebody says something like that, we all shout, "Fed, Fed, Fed, Ray Epps, Fed, get the hell out of here, you idiot." But the Antifa are so dumb, they don't even realize when they have a Fed in their midst. They're saying, "Arrest ICE, arrest ICE." And then the guy says, "Shoot ICE." One guy is smart. One guy has enough brain cells in his brain to say, "No." But then they're like, "Yeah, shoot him. Shoot him. What do you mean, no? Shoot him." These people are idiots, dude.
Shoot the fucker.
Listen to that.
Shoot ICE.
No.
Shoot the fucker.
And then it says, "Shoot the fuckers." And they're like, "Yeah, shoot them."
Shoot the fucker.
Oh, safety whistle. Rape whistle.
Arrest ICE. Arrest ICE. Shoot ICE.
No.
Shoot the fucker. Shoot the fucker.
Shoot the fucker. Shoot the fucker. And this is a green hat. That means he's a lawyer. Well, no, he's a green vest with a helmet on. Safety is saying, "Shoot ICE." The safety. Now, maybe he just came in with that green vest and he's actually a Fed. But what a mess, dude. These people are so dumb. They're so dumb. Dude, I wish I had that video. I had a video of a gym. It's a boxing gym. There's a gay flag and a trans flag hung on the wall. And it's all these Antifa people in the gym. and it's like Antifa training to destroy the right. And so there's one trainer. The trainer looks pretty tough, and there's a line of Antifa, and they're coming in and hitting the bags, and they're like, they're like, and then they go, and then the next one comes up, and the next one's like, and then the next one comes up, and then they pan the camera, and some of them are at punching bags, and they're like hitting the punching bags like this. It's like, this is Antifa preparing to take down the right. Okay, first thing, when you punch, you got to not have a limp wrist. You don't hit like that. This isn't how you punch somebody, okay? You're going to need to, do some wrist strengthening exercises. Lock that thing in there, okay? I don't need to be teaching them how to punch people. That's a bad idea. So let's see this craziness. So this is Chicago. They say get up, get down. Chicago is a different town. Is that what they said?
Against unreasonable searches and seizures should not be violated.
This is a MAGA channel, I just realized. It took you long enough, buddy.
And no warrant shall issue but upon probable cause, supported by the oath of affirmation.
Stop moving, camera.
Describing the place to be searched and the person to be seized. We go to another one. How's our history lesson going? All persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction
Wait till they
thereof
start getting...
are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. No state shall make or enforce any which shall abridge the privileges or immunities.
They're about to get popped.
Yo, press. Oh, you got it. Immunities of citizens of the United States, nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty,
Boom,
or
boom, boom.
property.
There they go. Pepper balls.
Without due process of the law.
Pop them up.
Nor deny to any person within.
I'd like to get shot by one of these pepper balls. I wonder if it feels the same as a paintball or if it feels weaker. I'm thinking it probably feels a little weaker because it sounds, I don't know. I want to try one out.
In its jurisdiction, the equal protection of the law. Shield wall.
Shield wall, this hurts my back. Look at these guys walking up. The death squad about to come in and handle business. Later, racist. Bye. Oh, I just realized you were a gay viewer. My bad. I didn't realize you were gay. Thought you were cool.
Does that make you feel big and tall?
He's a loser, Norm. I don't know. He's been on a bunch of. He's been in the chat a bunch of times and heard me talk. There's a flag behind me that says Trump is my president. There's a MAGA hat hanging on the wall behind me. He's been in the chat multiple times. I told you they're kind of retarded. Like, they're not very smart. Plus, the thumbnail said Antifa terrorists. What do you? Not the sharpest crayons in the box. But see, around here, we welcome dissenters. We don't shoot them. So this is Chicago. Let's see it. Get them arresting some people.
What?
Oh, I got tear gas in my eyes. Mr. Officer, please help me. I got some tear gas in my eyeballs. It hurts.
You're pointing your fucking weapon right at people.
Oh, look, that lesbian's getting tackled. Nice. Oh, dude, that bear mace is all the wind. The way the wind's blowing is all gonna go back in homeboy here's face. It's all blowing back in their face, bro. I don't know why they don't use flashbangs. Probably some sort of law against that. Because the gas tanks, all they do is run and pick it up and throw it back at them. They're wearing gas masks. They bought their gas mask at Home Depot. It's not designed to keep out tear gas, but I'm sure it helps a little bit. But why don't they use flashbangs? They're probably not allowed to, because you can like kill somebody with a flashbang. My favorite thing about leftists is Trump lives in their head rent free. Yeah. Okay. Stop, camera. Freeze. Look. Read my hand gesture, camera. You start tracking me when I don't want you to, and then when I want you to stop, you don't track. You don't see the hand gesture? Look, hand. It's not doing the thing. Oh my goodness. There's got to be a way to deactivate that. I just don't know how to do it.
He's trying to deliver babies.
They're against the law? Yeah, that figures. Getting some arrests.
What's your name? John Saru, October 1st, 1990.
Say my name, say my name.
Lawrence Guild Government Road. Say it again. John Saru, 1990.
Oh, the guys that are on the ground are yelling out who they are.
Hey, what's your name? Name and birthday.
Okay. Now, so this happens. It pops up in Portland. Again, we're seeing nationwide protests. We have a second No King's Day for October 18th, I believe. If it's a Saturday night, I guess I'll go down to that one. But it's not going to be as big here in Salt Lake City because 5051 cut ties with the Utah chapter of Antifa, which we have a pretty big Antifa presence here in Salt Lake City because there's a lot of people from Portland and Seattle and California that migrate to Utah. They're trying to turn Salt Lake City into mini California or mini Seattle. So we do have a big Antifa presence here. That's why I got to be careful. But the 5051 organization cut ties with the Utah branch, and they're not doing protests here anymore because last time they came to Utah, one of their peacekeepers shot a guy and killed him and didn't get arrested for it and is still free. Crazy. So now 5051 won't come to Utah anymore. They cut ties. They're trying to fly under the radar and just let this all dissolve. I'm still going to keep talking about it. I'm still going to keep bringing it up. I'm going to call attention to it with my mayor. If I go to this TPUSA thing and I get in line, I'm going to say, Spencer Cox, when is Matthew Alder going to go to jail? The peacekeeper from 5051 who shot a guy and killed him. Shot two people. When's that going to happen? Antifa's getting increasingly more and more violent. You're the governor of this state. I know he's not the sheriff. I know it's not his but still, this is what I put it on the mayor's Facebook page, and the guy's like, why are you bringing this up to the mayor? You know, this isn't like her. She's not the prosecutor. She's not the DA. She's not the sheriff. Why are you bringing it up to her? To call attention to it. I'll bring it up to the governor too. Why do you let these terrorists operate in this state? Mormons, you need to tighten up too. This is supposed to be a theocracy in Utah. Get your stuff under control, Mormons. But after the Mormon church thing, I assume Antifa will behave more there. Well, it's kind of just it's died out since the No Kings, like they're laying low here in Utah. But There's another group. I forget what they're called. It starts with an I. I have it somewhere. I have it saved somewhere. But there's another group that's kind of picked up, and I'm sure it's a grassroots movement. No, I'm sure it's funded by the same people who funded 5051, but they're organizing it here in Utah. They're still going to do No King's Day 2 here in Utah. It's just, I don't think it's going to be as big. I don't think they're going to let them march for 8 blocks through the city like they did last time. But whatever happens, I'll be there. It's just, I mean, Utah don't play, dude. Everybody, you seen in the video, my opening video, that where you see the guy wearing the black and yellow with the rifle in his hand, and he's talking to the Black Lives Matter and rainbow flag people with masks on. That was at the Utah State Capitol on January 6th. There were a lot of guys there with weapons, and nothing bad happened. No violence happened. No violence, but probably about 30 guys walking around open carrying rifles at the Capitol building here in Salt Lake City on January 6th. No violence. But there were counter protesters there, and they were actually having a conversation. You see it in the video. The guy was having a conversation with all the kids with a rifle in his hand, and it was peaceful. It was fine. Nobody messed around. Nobody, you know, it was not a big deal. But Utah, it's common to see protesters carrying rifles. And that's what happened at the No King protest. A protester was open carrying, which is his right in Utah to open carry a rifle at a protest, totally legal in Utah. But one of the peacekeepers saw him and just started shooting at him, hit him, and then hit a bystander in the crowd and killed the bystander. And that protester, as far as I know, has not been charged or arrested. They arrested the other guy and had to release him. I remember back when Virginia had 10,000 2A supporters come into town, no arrests. Yep, and probably no violence either. Now, do I think that's a good idea? Probably not. Probably not a good idea to go to an Antifa protest and walk around with a rifle in your hand. You know? But it is their right. What Gamboa did not break any laws. And he got shot, and another person got killed by a 50-51 peacekeeper on No King's Day, which should have made national news. It hit like mainstream media for like 10 minutes, but I don't see any conservatives talking about it because it you know, I don't blame them. It's not their fault. It's that it got buried.
Signing an executive order designating Antifa as a domestic terror organization, all as the White House aims to crack down on the sources funding the group.
President Trump has promised he will directly address the dark sources funding and supporting this domestic terrorism to finally restore order in our country.
I think if I did say it, I couldn't say Matt Alder because I actually. Hey, thank you, Wagira. I can't believe that dude still isn't arrested. I can't 100% confirm that he's the one who did it, but I'm pretty sure my sources are accurate, and I have multiple sources saying that he is the one he was the peacekeeper that day. And I contacted him on Facebook for his side of the story. He hasn't responded. Gamboa hasn't responded either. I contacted both of them, and they're not responding. But so I wouldn't say his name. That's alleged. The name I'm using, Matt Alder, is alleged. But I'm pretty sure it's a valid intel. But, you know, I'm not a highly funded investigative journalist, so I can't really say for sure. And we won't know until somebody gets charged, for sure.
country. The American people can expect further, very strong action on this.
I want to do a FOIA request. I want to try to, but what I would have to, I've looked into it. We could, maybe we could do something.
Very soon. Everyone, Republican, Democrat, everyone in between, we all deserve to live in a country where we do not have to fear for our lives simply for stating what
By the way, this is about Trump designating Antifa a terrorist group.
we believe in.
Former Antifa activist Gabriel Nadales joins me now. Thanks so much for being on the program.
Stop
and look,
tracking
it
me.
is unclear at this point exactly what this designation means legally. But, Gabriel, what are you hoping it means?
Well, you know, this is a long time coming, and I really hope that that Congress really follows suit and helps define what this means. But what some of these things means is that a lot of the self-described Antifa groups that are very localized, now we can...
Hey, thank you for the subscription. Would that say glass half vodka? Is your glass half full or glass half empty? My glass is half vodka.
actually call them legitimately domestic terrorist groups. And now there's a lot of ideas, or there's this idea that Antifa is merely an idea. And to an extent, that is true. But Antifa is a very collective or a specified set of ideas that believes in political violence to enact.
He almost said organization, but he stopped himself. You can say it. It is an organization. Don't let them lie to you. Don't let them bullshit. It's just an idea. It's not an organization. It's just an idea. Okay. Proud Boys, Patriot Front, not organizations, just ideas. Fascist is just an idea.
Its own political goals. That is literally the definition of terrorism. So if you call Antifa just an idea, it is literally the definition or the idea of...
Yeah, it's a terrorist idea. Okay. And I don't want to hear this shit about, but I am anti-fascist. I'm Antifa because I'm anti-fascist. The problem is the people you're attacking aren't fascists. You're a retard. You are not Antifascista Action from Germany or from Italy in damn World War II. This is not the same thing. You're attacking Republicans, conservatives, right-wing, God-fearing people who love America, and you're calling them fascists, and you're justifying it by saying, I'm anti-fascist. No, you're a terrorist.
Of terrorism itself.
When you first heard about this move from the White House, did you think, okay, this is to get the folks dressed in black on the ground that you see destroying communities? Or did you think more so, like I said in the introduction, this is to find the people funding Antifa?
So it's really interesting because...
Get them. But Trump, you think Trump's going to go after Soros? And I know we always say Soros, he's the boogeyman. He's the known one, which may be... Hey, thank you for the membership, Half Hood. We got to remember that could be part of the op. The fact that we all say Soros, but we don't know any of the other names, maybe that's part of the psyop, that maybe he's like, I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm just saying there's probably a lot of other people involved in funding them. And there's people who have done research into this. You can find the organizations that are funding them, and they say it's grassroots movement. You can look into it. There's groups funding them. There's NGOs. There's individuals who are very rich and who want to see this country burn and want to destabilize, dumb down, demoralize, destabilize, because a dumbed down, demoralized, destabilized people who are all on drugs and okay with killing babies is easy to control.
Antifa has several different sources of funding. One of the ways that I remember from back in my day, a lot of people did have jobs and they were self-funded. But I do know that there's been several different, like, I'm not sure specifically, it's not GoFundMe kind of thing, but websites like GoFundMe
That's true, Robert.
that will set fundraisers for Antifa activists to get them out of jail.
I know, it's crazy. They didn't get attention from a father figure, but they probably had like 3 fathers in the house.
do all of these things. I remember several years ago that you had Representative Ocasio-Cortez supporting people to donate to bail people out of jail who were affiliated with Antifa. And there's also book author Mark Bray, who wrote the book Antifa, the Anti-Fascist Handbook, who actually donates a proceed of his books to certain unnamed Antifa-esque
Act Blue
organizations. So there's definitely a lot of different sources of funding from the grassroots level to a lot of different fundraisers and campaigns.
Do you think that this designation as a terror organization will force people to think twice about joining or funding?
No, they're on X right now bragging about it. That Krasenstein guy, put him in jail. Trump says Antifa is a terrorist organization, and he goes on X bragging, I am Antifa. Put him in jail. Lock him up.
Antifa, and I'm asking you this based upon your experience in this group, listening to the people, being alongside them. You think this slows Antifa down in any way, shape, or form?
Well, actually, I wrote about this on The Hill several years ago. I think maybe 5 years ago. That
Good night, white pride. They need a comma or something. Good night, white pride. That's this fist. This commie fist, the 3 arrows. Oh, it's just from Hellraisers. 3 arrows pointing down. I think that says a little something different than Hellraiser's code input.
Labeling Antifa a domestic terrorist organization would really have two effects. The first one is that it really will help law enforcement to really target some of these terror cells. But the second of all, it would be to a PR battle, because to an extent, Antifa continues to claim itself as the anti-fascist.
Yeah.
And like,
PR battle means stigmatizing propaganda. Basically, we publicly shame them. We publicly shame the hell out of them. But then their response to being publicly shamed is to shoot people. That's why you got to put them in jail.
Oh, if you are against Antifa, you're pro-fascist. But that's nothing can be further from the truth. To combat it,
it's the same thing they did with Black Lives Matter. If you're against Black Lives Matter, you're a racist. You hate black people. They give their groups names like this so that if you question it, you sound like a bigot. You're against Antifa? Does that mean you're a fascist? Get him! Punch him in the face. You're against Black Lives Matter? That means you're a racist. You hate black people. Crazy.
Antifa is to combat political violence.
You know, the organizers are not stupid. The members are stupid. They're useful idiots. But the organizers know how to do this stuff, how to fundraise, how to organize, how to gather, how to prepare, how to ensure that everything legally is safe. That's why they have all the lawyers there.
Violence, no matter where it comes from, because to a certain extent, and actually to a great extent, whenever a lot of these Antifa activists, they are themselves the terrorists, they are themselves the fascists. So labeling them as such, as domestic terror groups, it really helps in the battle against Antifa in the PR realm, because it really.
Okay, we gotta keep it moving. Trump looking at Antifa birthplace Portland as first stop in left-wing group Crackdown trending. So this is the other night in Portland.
And have turned violent at times, with crowds throwing rocks and launching fireworks.
I don't know if this footage is from last night, because this is constantly happening in Portland. This could be old footage.
Agents and towards the windows of the facility.
But they were out there the other night.
Have even attempted to set a fire while agents were inside.
Nick Shirley was out there last night. Yeah. Andrew was watching it. I was watching it on Andrew's stream on the Crucible.
The building. And just recently, take a look at this. Protesters rolled out a replica guillotine in front of this ICE facility.
Radical Coder said the same thing last night, said, aren't you anti-fascist? I am Antifa. Yeah. He better be careful. I would just recommend he be careful, because he might end up in jail for saying that.
In Portland, in response, DHS went.
You don't get to support terrorists in America. Sorry. So if they do get designated as terrorists, guess what? I would go back and what's the word called where you retract? I would retract that statement.
Went on to say, quote, the American people gave us a clear mandate to secure the homeland in Portland and across America. Threats, lies, and vile attacks will not alter our course.
to be fair, though, when somebody like Coder or this Krasenstein guy say that stuff, I think that's the left's version of being edgy. Right? They're just trying to be edgy. They're like, oh, you say Antifa's a terrorist, but I am anti-fascist. So I'm Antifa. Like, they're trying to be edgy. I don't think Krasenstein or Coder are going to these protests armored up. I don't think they have the balls to do it. I'll go as an enemy with no mask on, but they're not going to go. Even if they're part of it, they won't go. So they're just trying to be edgy. But still, you know, catch a charge.
The designation of Antifa as a domestic terrorist organization declares Antifa as a militarist, anarchist enterprise that explicitly calls for the overthrow of the United States government.
You go out to Portland and you see what's happening in Portland. This is like nobody's ever seen anything like it every night, and this has gone on for years. They just burned the place down. These are professional agitators. Right. These are bad people, and they're paid a lot of money by rich people, some of whom we know.
On Tuesday, Antifa put out this flyer obtained by News Nation.
Dude, Trump is, bro, I don't care what anybody says. Trump, you're distracting from the Epstein list. You know, they came out with a new report. Now, you could argue this is all fake and but they came out with a thing. I forget who it is. I'll have to do some research, so I won't talk on it much. But somebody came out and said none of the victims, he's interviewed all of the Epstein victims, none of them implicated Trump on any of the planes. Clinton was implicated on a plane where some grape happened, allegedly. So, but Trump was not. Now, is his name probably in some records? Yeah, probably. Did he probably have connections with Epstein at some point? Yeah, most likely. Does that implicate him in any sort of nefarious actions? Maybe like financial stuff. He's dealing with a nasty guy, and that's bad. That looks bad. But as far as, you know, any like sexual stuff, that doesn't implicate him in that. So everybody who's saying all of this is just a distraction from the Epstein list, no, stuff from the Epstein list is still coming out slowly. Patel was in damn Congress, and he was saying, we've released everything that we're legally allowed to release right now. When we can release more, we'll release more. And stuff's going to come out. This is what I said a long time ago, but everybody's so up in arms about this damn Epstein list.
Calling for activists to gather at the Eugene Federal Building, where authorities made 3 arrests Tuesday night during the civil unrest. That flyer did read, quote, Portland in solidarity with Eugene. We are everywhere. Squad up, make travel plans, bring PPE, and your unhitched Portland energy. Antifa targeting federal and ICE buildings comes as DHS is announcing that the agency will...
Look at this. Look at this girl in a wheelchair in the very front line. Bro, look at this.
Immediately targeting federal and ICE plans, bring PPE, and your unhitched Portland energy. Antifa targeting federal and ICE buildings.
Look, there's a girl. It looks like a girl. Maybe it's a guy. I don't know. They're all androgynous, like anthropods. I don't know if anthropod. They're all androgynous troglodytes in a wheelchair on the front lines in a wheelchair with Rubbermaid lids as shields. This is your battle formation. You know, all the like little girls are at the front of the line, and like handicapped people and autistic and Down syndrome people are like on the front lines. They're using them as human shields.
Comes as DHS is announcing that the agency will immediately increase security at ICE facilities across the country in light of...
Dudes, you throw a firework in the middle of a bunch of armed soldiers? Dude, I don't understand why they have to use less than lethal. You just threw an incendiary device into a group of, looks like National Guardsmen. Officers at the least. We're switching to lethal. Maybe that's a bad idea. I don't know, but you can't, like, that could like kill somebody.
of the recent shooting at
They're all hopped up on Tylenol.
Dallas ICE facility, adding that ICE officers are facing more than a 1,000% increase in assaults. Here in Portland,
1,000% increase in assaults on officers. Look at this chick.
Antifa only target federal.
She's taking a selfie.
Agents, but also.
You saw, it looked like maybe she was recording them, but she was like doing this. You're not going to get more pretty.
Journalists who attempt to cover the group's violence and tactics during protests. Antifa and left-wing activists use violence to deter journalists from covering the anti-fascist movement in the city. I spoke with Andy No, senior editor at the Pulse Millennial.
This person in the wheelchair is so funny. That's wild. And now Oregon is suing the Trump administration for sending the National Guard to Portland. The suit comes a day after Trump announced he was authorizing the Guard to use full force in Portland. The state of Oregon and the city of Portland have sued the Trump administration to stop it from deploying National Guard troops to Portland. 200 National Guard troops were deployed this morning. The suit names President Donald Trump, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, and the Defense Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, and the Department of Homeland Security as defendants. It asks a federal court in Portland to stop the Trump administration from deploying troops and declare the deployment unlawful. You have people attacking federal officers at a federal building every night, and then you're mad that Trump is going to stop it? Dude, shut down that whole government. Shut all of that government down. Everyone in that city who is working as in the government has to be corrupt. This doesn't make any sense. This is crazy. Okay, let's do now we got to do the Michigan church. Enough Antifa. Let's do this Michigan church situation, and then we'll do Tylenol. Dude, it's getting, there's so much crazy stuff is happening in America lately. It's I wish this camera would stop tracking me. It's supposed to see my hand and stop, but it's not doing it. Hold on a second. If I open this program, enable auto tracking. Pulse track area, go to settings. I have auto tracking disabled, so it shouldn't. Pause track area. Setting the pause track area will exit AI tracking auto framing. Do you want to exit? Quit. Pause track area. Draw pause track areas. Okay. Sorry, guys. Technical difficulties. Okay. Michigan shooting at a Mormon church. This guy drove his truck into a Mormon church during a service. Hundreds of people were there. Drove his truck through the front doors, jumped out of his truck, started shooting. Oh, and by the way, thank you for the membership, Robert. Oh, we got 5 Kanyes. Thank you for the membership, Wagira. Alwyn got a Scott Free Freedom. I haven't seen him in a minute. Sea Soul, Ben Tot. Long live liberty. Nice. Now we got to wait for this to play out 5 times. One more. Oh, shoot. I got it. My leg is bleeding. I have a freaking open wound on my leg, and it just started bleeding. Awesome. Thank you, Wagira. Thank you guys for the memberships. Scott Free, you sobered up now. The bud. I don't know what that means, but shout out members. All right. The crazy part of this story is the fire. And look at that, dude. That's like a serious fire. To spread enough gasoline, they're saying he used some sort of accelerant, probably gasoline. He did the shooting. Last known number that I saw was 4 victims dead, many in the hospital. This was a big one. And, you know, they said that as they investigated the fire, they were probably going to find more bodies. So there could be an updated number. An ex-Marine smashed a pickup into a Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints church in Michigan, opened fire, and set the building ablaze during a crowded Sunday service, and then was fatally shot by police. At least 4 people were killed and 8 wounded, and authorities were searching the building ruins for more victims. The attack occurred around 10:25 a.m. while hundreds of people were in the building in Grand Blanc Township outside Flint. They got that water. They got that crazy water out there, like Aurora. They're putting something in the water, guys. The man got out of the pickup with 2 American flags raised in the truck. So I saw this image on X of this gray truck with the 2 American flags. And Grok said, yes, that is the truck. But then another person had a screenshot of a Grok that said that's not the truck. That's from an old image. But I think it's been confirmed that was the truck. He had the 2 big American flags in it. People are saying, well, he's a right-wing guy because, you know, the right-wingers, they drive the big trucks with the flags in the back. That means he's a Trump supporter. I don't know if Trump supporters shoot up churches normally. That's usually not the MO. But then other people were saying, yeah, but look at the flags. They're all tattered and burnt. A Trump supporter would have nice flags. He wouldn't have tattered and burnt flags. But then I'm like, they could be burnt because he lit the church on fire. Maybe that's why they're burnt. I don't know. But anyway, it's a gray truck. It's got 2 big American flags in the back. We've talked about, though, how Democrats wave American flags, too. They love the country that allows them the freedom to be as degenerate as they want to be with no repercussions. Freedom. They definitely turning the frog gay around Flint. Amanda, where you been? Amanda, how are you going to be one of the first lady mods? You're never here anymore. I'm just kidding. It's okay. I'm not mad at you. But where you been? The man got out of the pickup with 2 American flags raised in the truck bed and started shooting. Police Chief William Rain told reporters the attacker apparently used gas to start the fire and also had explosive device, but it wasn't clear if he used them, said James Deere of the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and Explosives. Authorities identified the shooter as Thomas Jacob Sanford. 3 names, usually 3 names is assassin MO. Like MK Ultra assassins always have 3 names. This guy's got 3 names, though, and he's a mass shooter. 3 names, that's typically, you know, got to watch out for those 3 named guys. 40 of the neighboring small town of Burton, the FBI is leading the investigation and considered it an act of targeted violence. Special agent in charge of the Bureau, Reuben Coleman. Officers responded to 911 call at the church within 30 seconds. Fast response time. Here's the truck. And see, people are like, oh, the flags are tattered and damaged. Well, look at where the truck is. Everything is tattered and damaged in that area. So, yeah, of course they look damaged. So whoever made that comment on X is dumb. Life's been crappy. I'm back, though. Just needed a break. Well, if you're looking for positive news, you're not going to find it here because America's going crazy right now. But I'll try to give it to you in a lighthearted way. You know, we report on the most horrible acts imaginable, but we try to do it with a good attitude, you know? Let's see. I've watched most of this already.
Okay. Hi, I'm Grand Blanc Township Police Chief William Rennie. That's R-E-N-Y-E. Here to give you some preliminary details on an incident that happened earlier today.
I'll be honest, we don't have time to watch this, guys. But he's just going to tell you the same things I just told you. And this was this morning. He said this afternoon there will be further updates. I haven't had time to look at if there was another address or any further updates, but there probably has been. At the time of this, it was 4 verified fatalities, victim fatalities. So the church story is crazy. Yeah. And I don't remember where they said he hated Mormons. Far below the piercing spires atop every Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints chapter rests a sign that beckons visitors welcome, a testament to the faith's robust evangelizing efforts. But on Sunday morning, a visitor took advantage of the church's open arms, plowing his truck into an LDS chapel in Michigan, shooting worshipers with an assault weapon and setting the building on fire. An assault weapon. I read 3 different articles on this, and it seems that like every publisher misprints something. What do you mean by misprints? Like a typo, or what do you mean by a misprint? You mean they all report on it from different perspectives and different? That's to be expected, though. At least 4 people were killed. Former Marine and Iraq war veteran died in a shootout with the police. Sunday's attack, which is among 324 mass shootings this year so far in the U.S. I have a feeling gun rights are going away. I don't know. That's going to definitely pop off something crazy if that happens. But it seems like the way that all this stuff is increasing and increasing, all these shootings and the news reporting on the shootings is just amping up and up and up. I don't know. I don't see Second Amendment being around much longer. I don't know. Where's the thing where it said he hated Mormons? Where's the motive? Michigan church shooting victims accounted for, gunman named. Oh, it's right here. Days before he allegedly killed 4 people, the alleged shooter espoused anti-Mormon views, according to a city council candidate. Chris Johns, who's running Seatonboro canvassing, going door to door about a week ago when he met Thomas Sanford. Within minutes of meeting, John said Sanford asked him, "What are your thoughts on guns, and what do you know about Mormons?" That sounds oddly convenient. Like, see, sometimes this stuff sounds, I don't want to say that. I don't want to get Alex Jones'd, but why would you say to a random city council person that comes and knocks on your door when you're planning on attacking a Mormon church with a gun? Why would you say, "What are your thoughts on guns and what do you think about Mormons?" Seems weird. Oddly convenient. You get too many people rising up? I know, but maybe that's what they want. I don't know. Yeah, it would be crazy if they try to do that. I don't see it going any other way with this. All these shootings just keep happening back to every week for 3 weeks now. It's all I've had to report on is like 5 shootings each week. It's crazy. And it's terrorism. You don't tell me I can't say terrorism on YouTube, where I'm talking about domestic terrorism. It's a way of controlling a conversation. John Thomas launched into a tirade against the church. It was a tirade. I mean, that's ultimately what it was. It was a series of questions, but it was him proactively making a tirade about his views on the LDS church. It was extremely anti-Mormon, he added. And then really what I walked away with, the statement I'll never forget was that Mormons are the Antichrist. Oh, shit. I said that before, too. But I love the Mormon. But a long time ago, I said in a YouTube video, I said Mitt Romney can't win the election because if he does, he'll be the Antichrist. That's why I was against. I couldn't even vote back then, but I would have. Well, I would have not voted but I would not have voted for Mitt Romney just because I had this creeping suspicion that Mormons wanted to take over America. And, you know, there'd be a lot of practical benefits to that. But anyway, I love the Mormons now. I realized it's not good to hate anybody. But that's crazy. Mormons are the Antichrist. I think probably a lot of us, if I gotta stop talking. I was in church at the time the attack happened, he said. I received message and saw that it was an LDS church. I made no connection from the attack in Grand Blanc to what was him. It wasn't until later that day when I saw a photo where I knew exactly that was the person I spoke with. Crazy. Opening. Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and Explosives told Fox Detroit 4 IEDs found in Thomas Sanford's truck. The IEDs were made of consumer-grade fireworks and smoke canisters stuck together, the station reported. Fox News Digital has reached out to the ATF. So, that's wild. I guess we'll probably have updates in the future and a finalized death count. I hope no kids got hurt. I think some definitely did. But I don't know. But a lot of people were injured. So that's all the violence.
This really could be a...
Now we're gonna. I don't really have a good segue here. We just spent 2 hours talking about shootings and terrorism and Antifa. I'm not gonna have time to get to the meme review or any of the fun stuff unless we go real quickly through this. But is Tylenol making people autistic? This is the new thing now. So let me be clear. It's not just taking Tylenol makes you autistic. And I couldn't confirm this story, but I saw, and you know what I say about not getting your news from memes? So I shouldn't even mention this story, but I saw a meme that said there was a woman who was pregnant who died because she took 30 Tylenols just to show Trump, oh, you don't like Tylenol? I love Tylenol. And according to the meme, she died and she was pregnant. But I couldn't verify that. I couldn't find any like real news articles on it. All I found was Instagram and Facebook posts. So, but anyway, Trump comes out. He says, pregnant women taking Tylenol does something to the brain that could lead to autism. Now, a lot of the media is saying Trump's a liar. Take all the Tylenol. But I have FDA, Mount Sinai, and Mount Sinai studies here that say that Trump's right. It's actually true. So we'll fact check Trump here. Watch this.
A legal headache for the maker of Tylenol. Legal experts say that families could not be looking to...
How did Chris raid me if he's still live? It says he's live right now.
To sue the drug maker after the Trump administration linked the use of acetaminophen in pregnancy to autism. So one example of this, the FDA is now trying to change the product label on Tylenol to warn pregnant women about the risk of autism. So a mom who took Tylenol during pregnancy and had a child with autism could point to that change in a lawsuit and say she should have been warned sooner. Kenvue, the maker of Tylenol, has previously won lawsuits.
Oh yeah, this is going to be a big payout for a lot of people.
That tried to link the drug.
Because everybody autistic now. And everybody taking Tylenol.
To autism. The company tells us we stand with the science and believe we will continue to be successful in litigation as claims lack legal merit and scientific support. Keep in mind, the FDA is taking a much softer tone than President Trump on this guidance. The head of the...
Maybe James could get a paycheck. I'd recommend everybody with autism go to their mom and be like, hey, Mom, you ever take Tylenol while you were pregnant with me? Yeah? Let's sue. Let's get some money.
Agency wrote in a letter.
But then we're going to have a bunch of rich autistic people running around.
To physicians, while an association between acetaminophen and autism has described in many studies, a causal relationship has not been established. In other words, a key question in these lawsuits would be, how do families show that Tylenol was a cause of autism when the scientific evidence has so far definitively not proven that, and you can't isolate it from other symptoms that you have during pregnancy?
So what about Tylenol? Could they sue the government?
So the maker of Tylenol could try to sue the FDA for defamation, but legal experts say that would be a very tough case.
All right.
So here's the FDA letter. FDA responds to evidence of possible association between autism and acetaminophen use during pregnancy. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration today initiated the process for a label change for acetaminophen and Tylenol and similar products to reflect evidence suggesting that the use of acetaminophen by pregnant women may be associated with a risk with an increased risk of neurological conditions such as autism and ADHD in children. The agency also issued a related letter alerting physicians nationwide. The FDA, quote, the FDA is taking action to make parents and doctors aware of a considerable body of evidence about potential risks associated with acetaminophen, said FDA Commissioner Marty McCary, medical doctor, MPH. Even with this body of evidence, the choice still belongs with the parents. The precautionary principle may lead many to avoid using acetaminophen during pregnancy, especially since most low-grade fevers don't require treatment. It remains reasonable, however, for pregnant women to use acetaminophen in certain scenarios. Evidence in recent years has suggested a correlation between acetaminophen use during pregnancy and subsequent diagnosis of conditions like autism and ADHD. Multiple large-scale cohort studies, including the Nurses Health Study 2 and the Boston Birth Cohort, find this association. Some studies have described that the risk may be most pronounced when acetaminophen is taken chronically throughout pregnancy. Yeah, don't be taking Tylenol every damn day. Anybody. It is important to note that while an association between psychology is backfiring. Yeah. Well, I'm anti-psychology. Psychology was never legit. Psychology's fake. It's made up pseudoscience. Yep. Some studies have described that I already read that. It is important to note that while an association between acetaminophen and neurological conditions has been described in many studies, a causal relationship has not been established. So this is just saying the same thing she said. So there's a correlation, but it's not necessarily a causal link. And then Mount Sinai study supports evidence that prenatal acetaminophen use may be linked to increased risk of autism and ADHD. Researchers at the Icahn School of Medicine at Mount Sinai have found that prenatal exposure to acetaminophen may increase the risk of neurodevelopmental disorders, including autism spectrum disorder and attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Both fake, by the way. Acetaminophen's causing an increase in fake neurological diseases in children. The study published today in BMC Environmental Health is the first to apply a rigorous navigation guide methodology to systematically evaluate the rigor and quality of the scientific literature. See, I think you got to follow the money on this. I think Tylenol did something and they're like, we gotta cut off Tylenol. No more Tylenol. They're funding Antifa. We can't support Tylenol. Let's do a smear campaign on Tylenol because we found that they're funding Antifa. This is all made up, guys. This is satire. This is a joke. I'm just, I'm not serious, but actually, maybe I am, but we're just conspiracy theory spitballing here. Acetaminophen, often sold under the brand name Tylenol and known as a paracetamol, outside the United States and Canada, is most commonly used over-the-counter pain and fever. Uh-oh, my screen just went black. What the heck? It's fixed. Until now, acetaminophen has been considered the safest option for managing headache, fever, and other pain. Analysis by Mount Sinai team of 46 studies incorporated data from more than 1,000 participants across multiple countries, challenges this perception and underscores the need for both caution and further study. And Nature, Trump links autism and Tylenol. Is there any truth to it? Don't take Tylenol. But scientists say that strong evidence between the medication and autism is lacking. So there's a connection, but it's not totally confirmed yet, which is why I think there's another reason. You'd have to follow the money to find out why we're going after Tylenol. Yeah, thank you, Wagera. World health officials reject Trump's claim that Tylenol is linked to autism. Yeah, I'm sure they're making a lot of money off of the pharmaceutical industry. Maybe the safest doesn't mean Trump wasn't right. He's right, but maybe he's just the way he said it. Well, that's what they'll do with Trump. They'll tone police him. He'll say, Tylenol's making everybody retarded. And they'll be like, Trump, Tylenol is not making everybody retarded, but it's kind of making everybody retarded. That's always how it goes. Fact check, false, but kind of true. That's how they always do the fact checks. From an elixir for little hotheads to deadly overdoses, how Tylenol became a medicinal scapegoat. The iconic drug's troubled history helped make it target for Trump and his followers. It's been 70 years. We introduced the first pure acetaminophen product to American consumers, Elixir Tylenol. Since then, it's become one of the world's most ubiquitous drugs, but also one whose safety has periodically been challenged, as it was this week when President Trump forcefully and publicly urged pregnant women to abstain from taking Tylenol, asserting without clear scientific evidence a potential link to autism. I just wanted to see if people are actually like protesting Trump by going and overdosing on Tylenol. That would be crazy. I've heard rumors, and they're not going to let me read this article, so we're not going to get to find the truth. If anybody sees any real credible articles about somebody doing this, send it to me. Until then, it's just a meme. But that's it for the main story news. We went way over the length of time that's supposed to take. So, we're going to have to, luckily there's not a lot of these. Not a lot of memes this week. One second. This first one's funny. Okay, guys, it's time for the memes. Meme time. The weekly meme review brought to you in part by Tylenol and also viewers like you. So make sure you hit the like button and subscribe. First meme, I have tits, give me free stuff. I have a penis, blame me for everything. Sounds about right. Unfortunately. Next. This is Hasbulla mixed with Super Saiyan 3 Kid Goku from Daima is Super Saiyan Hasbulla Goku. Super Saiyan Hasbuku. It looks the same. It fits perfectly. It fits perfectly. You better watch out. Next. There seems to be a pattern emerging in having elevated chin to philtrum ratios amongst shooters. So I guess philtrum is this bottom part of your lip. Chin to philtrum. See? I got regular, average chin to philtrum ratio. These guys all got long-ass chin to philtrum ratios. There could be something to this theory. Today on Unsolved Mysteries, do you have an extra large chin to philtrum ratio? You might be the next shooter. Tim Allen is conservative. Cancel his show. Roseanne Barr is racist. Cancel her show. Gina Carano hates BLM. Cancel her show. Wow, ABC pulled the plug on Kimmel. Does MAGA hate free speech? Perfect. Perfect. Oh, I don't have that on my soundboard. Next. Dude, I don't know what's my ear remember for a while I had like ear problems. It came back. I don't know why this ear randomly just like gets blocked up. I can't hear out of it. And then I try to clean it out with a cotton swab and it gets worse. And it gives me a headache. But I have a freaking ear problem. Okay. I guess marriage is out of the question now. What the? Next. How to fight a bear with jiu-jitsu. Step 1, wait for the bear to make a move. Step 2, when it attacks, duck and shoot in. Step 3, take its back. Step 4, it won't be able to reach you with short arms. Step 5, go for the rear naked choke. Step 6, when the bear passes out, it will fall forward. You did it. Step 7, now snap out of your fantasy and realize you died somewhere around step 2. You dead. You cannot kill a bear with jiu-jitsu. It's not going to work. Stop it. Get some help. Next. Someone said Terry Crews looks like a chewed up Tootsie Roll. I can't unsee it now. Bro, Terry Crews do look like a chewed up Tootsie Roll. What the? Dang. Dang. I don't know what.
How about new?
Next. We all know it's the Tylenol administered after vaccines. The heavy metals accumulate. Then Tylenol inhibits CYP450, also impairing glutathione pathways. And what you get is inflammation in the brain, triggering damage to neurons, and hence autism is created. Ooh. Interesting, Dr. Mark Galili, D.O. Allegedly. I don't know if any of that's real. This is a meme review. It's just a meme. Next. Uh-oh. They debunked Bush theory, but there's a little fleck of something on the camera up here, higher up. People are saying that angle is too extreme, though, that wouldn't work. But there is like that could be a freaking fleck on the camera. That could be a dust on the lens of the camera. But this little dark spot appears. Conspiracy theories. It's a theory. A conspiracy theory. Next. Cargo train breaks the sound barrier. Get it? It broke the sound barrier. Cargo train broke the sound barrier. Get it? Get it?
How about new?
Next. Pam Bondi honors Charlie Kirk's legacy by doing the exact opposite of Charlie Kirk. She started talking about hate speech. That was so embarrassing. Like, what side are you on, lady? Do you not know the talking points? Hate speech is not a thing in America. Supreme Court has shot that down. It's never been a thing, never will be a thing. It's dumb. We're not in England. There's no such thing as hate speech. You should know better, Pam. Next. When your tinfoil hat turns into a crown of knowledge. Sounds about right.
It's a man, baby.
Next. At the height of Gilligan's Island's popularity in 1966, the U.S. Coast Guard received 2,500 letters a week asking why the castaways hadn't been arrested yet. Wow. I don't know.
Two mentals don't make a non-mental.
Next. We're the ones living in the dark ages. Look at this ancient art. This is how you know Nephilim and giants used to roam the earth, and they're living in tunnels under the earth to this day. Look at this architecture, giant doorways, giant statues that we can't even make things like that today. And if we do, it's like a fat black lady in the middle of Times Square, and it looks like garbage. But we used to make beautiful art like this with giants helping us and dinosaurs. Yes. Next. Oh, I left that. Eating steak and eggs for breakfast. Weirdo. Downing 46 grams of sugar in a Starbucks Frappuccino. Totally normal. Make it make sense. Yep. Oh, wrong sound effect.
Beta.
Okay. Next. Oh, there it is. That's okay. UK and US language differences. Fries. Freedom fries. Chips. We eat chips, mate. Oh, that's Australia. We eat chips, bro. We eat chips, bruv. We eat chips, in it. Airplane, Aeroplane. I'm about to get on the aeroplane, isn't it? Subway, the underground. We're going to go ride the underground, mate, bruv. Jail, Australia. What? What?
No offense, but it sounds like some fucking commie gobbledygook.
Next. My doctor told me my insomnia is very common. Well, then don't lose any sleep over it. Dad joke. Dad joke. It's a dad joke explosion. Next. The swordfish has few predators to worry about in the world, except for the seldom seen penfish, which is said to be even mightier. Get it? The pen is mightier than the sword. Get it? You guys? Anybody? Anybody? No? Next. The face you make when you trusted the science. My heart! My autism! Next. If any business goes cashless, it's our duty to show them how they can also go clientless. You want to go cashless? You're going to be customerless. Next. I just saw this fella going up a hill with a wheelbarrow full of horseshoes, four-leaf clovers, and rabbit's feet. I thought he's pushing his luck. That guy's really pushing his luck. No? No? You get it? No? Nobody? I like the insomnia one. Next. Breasts or thighs? Me. Ass. The KFC employee taking my order. Huh? Ass? He's an ass man. He's an ass man.
I am not gay. I have relationships with women and sex with men.
And I got news for you.
That means
you're gay.
Next. Bill, what should we name this new kind of giant outdoor advertising? Phil. How about a Phil board? Bill. I got a better idea. How about a billboard? Dang. Dang. That's a good joke, right? Yeah? Yeah? No? No? Nobody? You don't like the dad jokes? Next. Know your limits. What's different about this picture? Know your limits. What's going on in this picture? What do we see here? One of these things is not like the other. Homeboy here said, I am not picking this bitch up on my shoulders. You want me to put Felicia on my shoulders? Nah, we ain't taking that picture. Oh, I'm just going to stand here with her. She looks like she might be pregnant, though, because he's got his hands on her belly like that. So let's be nice to her. She might be pregnant, but she might not be. Next. My immune system raises body temperature to fight infection. Me takes medicine to lower body temperature. My immune system. Really? Really? You're going to stop me from doing what I'm doing to make you stronger? You're going to make me weaker by taking some damn Tylenol? Fever reducer? Next. The shooter isn't trans. The left. Yeah. But his boyfriend is. Oh.
Why are you gay?
Next. Did you just look at my wiener? Ladies. Did you just look at my wiener? I think you just looked at my wiener. Gotcha. Gotcha, bitch. Next. Trans women's breast milk is as good as breast milk. Says NHS Trust. I don't know if this is real. This is a meme. This is just a meme, guys. Drug-induced chest feeding liquid comparable to that from mothers when it comes from a baby nourishment. When it comes to baby nourishment, claim hospitals. I don't know about that one. Guys, that's it for the memes. No more memes. Okay. We got some. We're not going to have time to do any debate prep. We'll have to do some streams for that by itself. But we do have time to get through the reels and the rapid fire. We got some funny reels to watch. Let me just fix this real quick. Okay. Funny reels. Let's watch. What's this girl got to say? What's this girl got to say to us? What you got, girl? Here we go.
I don't like that you talk too much. I don't like that you gave me 2 dads. It's confusing.
Flawless victory.
Flawless victory. I don't like that you talk. I don't like that you gave me 2 daddies. It's confusing. Which one's my real dad? Are you my daddy? Girl roasted mom. Mom got roasted. Here's for the Magic the Gathering nerds. I personally am also a mill player, not in Magic, but in Dragon Ball Super card game. But it's pretty much the same thing as this right here.
Exclusively mill decks in Magic.
That is correct.
Fascinating. So what made you decide to become the worst person in the world?
Well, you know, I saw this game that had a nearly limitless number of potential strategies and deck types to build, and I thought to myself, what's the one that will spoil the fun for the highest number of people? That's the one I want to play.
Wow. So you really do just enjoy making other people miserable, huh?
Yeah, I mean, making other people miserable is just about the only thing I enjoy in life. Go ahead and mill 14.
Mill 14.
Watching the joy fade from people's eyes as I destroy a deck they poured so much love and time into without interacting with it in any meaningful way is honestly the coast.
So for the people who aren't nerds and they don't know, Magic the Gathering is a card game, and there's a strategy called mill decks, which the goal of a mill deck is to make your opponent run out of cards in their deck so that they lose the game because there's no cards left for them to play with. But the mill decks usually don't do anything except defend. Defend, 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 defend. Stay alive and keep destroying the cards in their deck. But don't interact with what's on the field. Don't really play any cards onto the field. You just kind of sit back and make a mill each turn. The best troll.
I've ever come to achieving an orgasm.
And what do you think made you this way? Were you not hugged enough as a child, or?
Oh, no. I had a very loving family. You know, tons of support. It's just, for as long as I can remember, I've always had a deep desire to cause misery and pain in other living beings. And, you know, as fun as it is to torture animals and kick orphans, society tends to frown on that kind of stuff. But that's what's so great about mill decks, you know? I can dispense a comparable amount of anguish and suffering, and legally, I'm untouchable. Mill 4, please.
Well, thank you so much for this interview, and I hope you burn in hell.
Oh, my pleasure. And that is game.
So the card game I play, Dragon Ball Super, just came out with a new Trinity format. I don't like that they call it the Trinity format, by the way, but they call it the Trinity format, which is 3. You bring 3 decks and you play 3 games. So it's a new tournament format where you have 3 decks. And in the game of Dragon Ball Super, there are 3 mill decks. Maybe there's 4. I think actually there's 4, but one like nobody ever plays. I think there's 4 mill decks, but there's 3 good mill decks. And all these people are like, oh, I know what 3 decks I'm bringing to the Trinity tournament, and it's all the 3 mill decks. That's something I would do. Zamasu, Janemba, and I guess there's 5. You could do a token mill with Android 17. But yeah. Then there's Piccolo mill, and there's Janemba mill, there's Zamasu mill, and then there's Android 17 token mill, which isn't really viable. Piccolo one's not really viable. There's another Cooler mill. Cooler's viable. Somewhat. So there's 5 mill deck strategies. I guess the 17 one is technically Cooler mill, but with a different leader. Similar concept though. But anyway, I'm nerding out. Let's keep going. This was funny. Hold on.
Is that true, Congresswoman? I heard you like to sing. Is that true, Congresswoman?
Yes, I like to sing Mexican songs, senor. Would you like to hear my favorite song?
Absolutely.
Okay, here goes, senor. Burrito, taco, taco, burrito, taco, taco, taco. Don't think just because I got a lot of money, I'll give you taco flavored kisses.
Dude, it's small on you guys' screen, but if you can see, whoever did this, her mouth, it's pretty on point. The lip flaps are going pretty on point with the song. Watch her lips.
Would you like to sing? Is that true, Congresswoman?
Yes, I like to sing Mexican songs, senor. Would you like to hear my favorite song?
Absolutely.
Okay, here goes, senor. Burrito, taco, taco, burrito, taco, taco, taco. Don't think just because I got a lot of money, I'll give you taco flavored kisses, honey. Fulfill all your wishes with my taco flavored kisses. Taco, taco, burrito, burrito.
I heard you like to sing.
I could watch that all day. Okay, and then one more. This one's pretty funny. I like this one.
Do you have any chapstick? Yeah, here. Apply liberally.
Equal rights! Free healthcare! Black Lives Matter!
Apply liberally. And for the Brits.
Oh, yeah, right. Right, yeah. Right, yeah. Right, yeah. That's right, mate, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Hit it.
Right, yeah. Right, yeah, mate, yeah. Drowning deep in my sea of loathing. Wrote in your serving, I knew, right. I seems what's left of my bloody human side is slowly changing, in it, right in me, yeah. Will you give me the beans? Looking at my own bloody reflection. When suddenly it bloody changes, right? Violently it changes, right? Yeah. No, there's no bloody turning back. Now, mate, you've woken up the bloody demon, right? And the man in it, yeah. So
In it,
get
yeah.
up, come on, get down with the sickness, right? Get up, come on, down with the sickness in it, yeah. Come on, get down with the bloody sickness, mate. Open up your hate, mate, and let it flow from to me, right? Yeah.
In it. Bloody right in it. Okay. All right. Enough of that. Okay. Those were pretty funny. All right. We got rapid fire news. A couple more small news stories. This one's pretty funny. U.S. authorities removed Trump Epstein statue from National Mall. Somebody made this statue of Trump and Epstein holding hands, and they're like this, like frolicking through a meadow. And they put it on right in front of the Capitol in the National Mall. And they did all the paperwork. They were allowed to have it there for a certain period of time, and they came in and took it down. Now they might have a lawsuit because they're going to say, well, we were allowed to have that up for a certain number of days and you took it down. But here's a picture of the statue. This is funny. I'll be fair. You know, I hate the left ideology, not the individuals, just the ideology. I hate when they do violent stuff. And we always say the left can't meme. And assuming a leftist made this, which usually they're not that talented, so maybe it was a right-wing person that's angry at Trump about the Epstein list or something, but this is a good meme. This is a funny troll. It's fucked up, but it is funny. So I'll give him credit. I'll give him credit for funny troll. Funny troll. I admire the effort put in. But they had to take it down. An impromptu statue of Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein holding hands was unceremoniously removed from the National Mall in Washington just a day after a group of anonymous artists erected it there. The piece showed the president and the late convicted sex offender, who were friends in the past, looking joyful together with wide grins and feet kicked back. They're like best friends. They're doing the best friends thing. The secret handshake, the group that created the art, had obtained a permit that allowed it to keep the statue displayed in the Capitol until 8 p.m. on Sunday. But the National Park Service, the federal agency that oversees the area, removed the statue because it was not compliant with the permit issued. Elizabeth Peace, a spokesperson for the Department of the Interior, said to CNN, Trump, who is usually who usually is adept at shaking feet of any scandal, has not been able to temper the widespread curiosity and also anger from some of the right over the administration not disclosing the so-called Epstein files. All the material the authorities have on the business dealings, crimes, investigation into the same regarding the New York financier who killed himself in jail allegedly while awaiting federal trial in 2019 on sex trafficking offenses. His accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so that's the story. They put up the statue. They took it down. Pretty funny. Pretty funny. Next. Here's my ticket. Oh, shoot. Don't look at that. Here's my ticket for... It's a free ticket, so if you want to screenshot that barcode and come to Utah and use it, in case I can't go, you're free to do that. But Turning Point is continuing. The tour is still on, and the next stop is Utah State University, which I live very close to. I wanted to look into who's going to be there. Senator Mike Lee, Representative Andy Biggs, Honorable Jason Chaffetz, and Governor Spencer Cox. So Jason Chaffetz is a judge. Andy Biggs is a representative. Mike Lee is a senator that I know. I know about Mike Lee. Spencer Cox is the governor. I know about Spencer Cox. But the host of this one is Alex Clark. And I had no idea who Alex Clark was. And this is happening tomorrow at 6:30 at the University of Utah. So I looked into who Alex Clark is. It's a lady. So I just want to see who's, and now this is not permanent. This is not a permanent replacement. But apparently this girl's a TPUSA person who I've never heard of. I've never heard of her before, probably because I don't watch women talking about politics on the internet. It's probably my least favorite thing to do. Probably the last thing you'll ever catch me doing. Unless it's Candace Owens talking about conspiracy theories. Sometimes that's fun. But women talking about politics, not a big fan. But who's this Alex Clark lady? I thought it was a guy.
Happening in the conservative movement. And so I'm sitting there and I'm so nervous, and I'm listening to clips of Charlie Kirk, and I'm listening to Ben Shapiro's.
They all sound the same to me. Her, Brett Cooper, the lady who replaced Brett Cooper, Sarah from The Blaze, all of them. The only woman political person, I like Caitlin Bennett. I like when she's on the ground. Usually I don't think a woman, especially a woman with children, should be doing that. But she's got her husband there with her, and she's got security. Caitlin's cool. But the only pundit that sits behind a camera and talks about politics that I like is Savannah Hernandez. Shout out Savannah.
Podcast at the fastest possible speed, trying to memorize everything that I was hearing, because I was like, well,
Anyway, this is the lady that's going to be hosting it, which makes me less inclined to want to go. But and then here's the full list of special guests who are going to be on the American Comeback Tour at Utah State. Oh, this is just Utah State. I thought this had the list of future people as well. Big names on other tour stops. This is what I was looking for. So this one just happened. King was telling me about this one. Michael Knowles was at the University of Minnesota on September 22nd. Megyn Kelly and Glenn Youngkin were at Virginia Tech on September 24th. Vivek Ramaswamy and Greg Giaforte were at Montana on October 7th. That's coming up. Glenn Beck, Tucker Carlson, Allie Beth Stuckey, Rob Schneider. That'd be a cool one. I'd like to go to that one, but that's at Berkeley. And Rob Schneider and Frank Turek. See, that's one that would be a fun one to go to. That would be cool. Frank Turek is the guy with the white hat that was standing behind Charlie. He's his pastor. He's a Christian YouTube guy, cross-examined, well-known apologist, Cool guy. I like Frank. And Rob Schneider. That would be a fun one to go to. But so that's what's coming up with the tour. Meanwhile, updates on this stuff. There's been a lot of conspiracies coming out lately. Lots of different conspiracies. Now they're saying the lavalier mic exploded, and they're referencing the phone explosions that happened, that Israel did the phone explosions, and they're saying if they can blow up a phone, why can't they blow up a lavalier mic? Lots of and I knew this was going to happen. For like the first week, a lot of people weren't making videos doing this, but now the videos are coming out where it's like frame by frame, zoomed in, slowed down, forward, reverse of like watching it happen over and over and over again, which I get it. Investigators are going to have to do things like that. But I don't know if it's healthy for the average American to watch something like that over and over and over again from every different angle and analyze it and sit in. So that's why I haven't shown any of those conspiracy videos, but I am watching them. But I don't know if the average person should be. And they're coming up with crazy stuff now. There's like 18 different angles. There's a tunnel theory because the people who own the pipes, the pipe system and the water network, there's a trap door, and that maybe somebody was in a tunnel underneath him and was shooting upwards. There's the lavalier mic theory. There's Bushman. There's Rooftop Man. There's a guy in the audience with a little miniature gun, allegedly, is what some people are saying. There's Israel. There's Trump theory. There's lots of theories. So, I don't, and then of course there's, the basic, everybody keeps saying Occam's razor. This is not the time to use Occam's razor to say, well, the kid admitted it. We found a gun. We found bullets. He admitted it to his dad. He turned himself in. Occam's razor says he's the one who did it. That's not Occam's razor. Occam's razor says none of that makes any sense, and it's more likely that he's a patsy and that this was a high-level assassination and the government's trying to cover it up. That's Occam's razor. That's the most likely thing. It's actually less likely that some random Antifa kid just did this one day and then left little breadcrumbs of all the evidence and turned himself in. That's very unlikely. That's not Occam's razor. I don't think people understand what they're talking about when they say Occam's razor said Tyler Robinson just did it and left us all the evidence, and we found the gun and we found the bullets and he turned himself in. Occam's razor. No, that is not the most likely situation. It's more likely that this was an op and he's a patsy. If we look at history. Anyway. But I'm not saying Tyler Robinson didn't do it. So updates on that. Utah County appoints Robinson's attorney, approves $1 million staffing additions for Kirk case. His attorney is a public defender, but it's $100,000 public pretender. Good luck with having a public pretender on this case. And then $1 million in staffing additions for this case. He actually had a court case this morning. This is a picture from his first appearance. But his first arraignment happened this morning at 9 a.m. Mountain Time. I haven't watched it yet. I don't know if there's video of it yet. Let me see. Let me see if there's any video of it yet. Authorities identified suspect. Oh, here's a picture of the suspect. If I have time, maybe we'll pull that up. Hold on a second. Judge's promise. Yep, we got it right here. Please. So this is 10 hours ago. This is from this morning at 9 a.m. I had this marked in my calendar. I knew when it was happening, but I don't think they showed it live because I was looking for it live this morning while I was sitting here. and I couldn't find it live. I was thinking about if I could find it live, go live and watch it. But we'll watch it right now. It's 10 minutes.
Please be seated.
And then we'll have 10 minutes left to do a couple last little stories.
Good morning. Court is now in session. Calling the case 2-5.
Hurry up, guys. We got 2 out of 10 of the goal. Plus, we got all the memberships, but they don't go towards the goal. I appreciate all the memberships and the super chats, but we only got like 20 minutes left of show. So this is 10 minutes long. We'll watch this, do a couple more stories. Help us get the goal. If you can't, that's fine. I still love you.
51403-576, State of Utah versus Tyler James Robinson. Counsel, could you enter your appearances, please?
Chad Grunander, Jeff
not
Gray,
in the court?
Lauren Hunt, Ryan McBride, and Chris Ballard for the state, Your Honor.
Good morning, counsels.
Good morning, Your Honor. Kathy
Is that his public pretender, Kathy?
Nestor, Michael Burt, and Richard
Michael Burt can't barely even stand up. He's about to die.
Novak on behalf of Mr. Robinson.
Morning.
This is his team of public pretenders. Oh, this kid's getting the firing squad. Guys, sorry, Tyler, you're getting the firing squad. You got a team of public pretenders. He's definitely, you know what this guy is. You know, he enjoys bagels for breakfast. This guy's old. Looks like he's about to die. He could barely stand up for the. He could barely stand up, and then Kathy here. Oh man, you're in trouble, Tyler.
Good morning to you all.
Morning.
And to the jail.
Oh, he's in the courtroom from jail through Zoom.
Do we have Mr. Robinson present?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Robinson, good morning.
Is he in Salt Lake County Jail? Or no, he was in. Yeah, I think he is.
Morning to you as well. Counsel, as we begin, I have entered orders allowing the admittance of Mr. Michael Burt, Mr. Richard Novak, pro hoc vice, and appointing them along with Ms. Catherine Nestor to be Mr. Robinson's counsel. The court enters findings that the combined experience.
We're on 1.25 speed, by the way, just so you know. So you don't think they just talk a little oddly fast.
Of counsel meets and exceeds the requirements of Rule 8. Counsel, do we have, what would we like to accomplish today?
I have 2 items, Judge. I just wanted to make a record that under Rule 16 of the Utah Rules of Criminal Procedure with respect to discovery, the state is required to provide to the defense within 5 days of the defense's request the discovery that we relied on in making this charging decision. We'll be prepared to do that, so we'll look for...
So if you don't know, if you're not a jailhouse attorney like me, discovery is all the information on the case, all the evidence, all the everything. And I think discovery, once it's given to the defense, maybe it's not till after the trial, but I think discovery may be public record. Maybe not till after the trial. I'm not sure about that, but like you could request to see the discovery, which is all the evidence they're going to use.
Defense counsel's request or the next day or so, and we'll provide that to the defense.
Let me look. Can the public request discovery? No, the general public cannot request discovery in a trial. Discovery is a legal process strictly between the parties involved in the lawsuit, allowing them to obtain information and evidence from one another to prepare for trial. While court proceedings are generally open to the public, the details of discovery exchanges remain private unless they are formally filed with the court or a protective order is lifted. Okay, so you can't request discovery. Even after the case is over? Yeah, the discovery is kept private. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. There's a lot of extra stuff in discovery that we're never going to see.
Thanks.
Thank you.
We also, for the court's information, we met.
But throughout the trial, you're going to see a lot of the discovery presented during the trial. But there could be other things in discovery that never gets brought up.
This morning with the defense team briefly in our office to talk about discovery and the process. So we'll be working together. There is a substantial amount of discovery in this case, Your Honor. It's voluminous, to say the least, and we're working on a process.
Voluminous. There's a lot. And I'm wondering about the Discord stuff. Like, how deep does this go? How many people are connected to this?
Where we can exchange information as quickly as possible and be efficient in that process. The other item I had, Your Honor, I saw that over the weekend there was a protection order, pretrial and trial publicity order entered by Your Honor. And I just was seeking some clarification. On page 2, at the end of the first paragraph, it reads, "To that end, lawyers participating in the investigation or litigation of this case shall inform all witnesses, investigators, consultants, staff members, or other members of the prosecution or defense teams about the prohibitions contained in this order." The state, we're seeking some clarification with respect to the phrase "all witnesses," Your Honor. There are a number of witnesses that have yet to be identified.
There's like thousands of witnesses
that would likely be used in the state's case. This occurred in front of 2,000 to 3,000 students at Utah Valley University. So we're in the process of identifying those witnesses. And so those individuals are presently unknown right now. So we're looking for a little clarification from the court. And I suppose we're not going to make any arguments today, but there may be some follow-up pleadings that we may need to file.
Thank you.
Yeah, so basically at a later date, they haven't talked to all the witnesses. They haven't even found all the witnesses yet. So at a future date during the trial, the state or the defense could bring up a witness that isn't in the discovery. Now they'd have to give them a little bit of notice. You can't just bring in a surprise witness. You have to give your opponent time to prepare for it. But there could be new witnesses introduced later in the trial who are not in the discovery.
Ms. Nestor, did you want to be heard about that issue?
That lady looks familiar.
No, Your Honor, we would defer to what.
Not her. This other lady in the corner over here. That lady. Where have I seen that lady?
Thank you. Ms. Nestor, did you want to be heard about that issue?
No, Your Honor, we would defer to whatever the court wants to advise them on that matter. I think it's fairly obvious that we don't know who all the witnesses are in this case yet. I think it's just important that if anyone is identified, that they have information about this order. So I think other than that, we wouldn't weigh in on any other matter.
Thank you. Well, thank you for that question. That's an important one.
I think it's obvious they haven't found all the witnesses. Shut up, Catherine.
The court will rule that as the witnesses become known to each side, that information is conveyed to abide by this order. Obviously, there are potentially many witnesses, and so it's not the expectation that you would be able to do that up front. But as they become known, I would ask that you would inform them of this. Anything else, counsel?
Nothing from the state. Nothing else, Judge.
Thank you. Ms. Nestor.
I'm still going to
Thank you,
get
Your Honor.
silence from Tyler.
We recognize that we are here today for a waiver hearing. It is not our intent to waive a preliminary hearing in this matter. We are going to be seeking that one be set. However, based largely on what the state just referred to as far as the voluminous nature of the discovery materials, we do think it would be prudent to simply reset for
Lots of
another
time.
conference, another waiver hearing, a little bit down the road, where we have a better idea once we start seeing
this
the
is gonna be
discovery as it
years,
rolls
by
in.
the way.
I do recognize we're going to
This could be like a 4-year trial.
be getting that first batch in 5 days, but it's my understanding from our meeting today that there is massive amounts of digital that is going to be coming, and until we can kind of get our heads around
Massive amounts of digital. That's camera angles and that's messaging. Who else is involved in this? That's in the digital.
exactly what we're dealing with and how much we need to process. It's going to be difficult for us to give you a reasonable expectation of when we will be ready to do the prelims. So we're asking today that we put that decision off, and maybe we could check in 30 to 60 days and just kind of let the court know where we're at and how much we're looking at and how much time we may need to set a preliminary hearing. Also, as far as a detention hearing, we are not asking the court to address that issue at this time.
Yeah, he's not getting a bond. There's no place. She knows better than to ask for a bond.
Under the statute, the issue is going to come down to the question of whether there's substantial evidence, which right now we're just not in a position at all to be able to even argue to the court. So we are probably going to ask that the court delay that decision possibly until the time of the prelim. But if it's sooner, we will ask the court for a hearing. But at this time, we are not asking the court to make any decisions on that matter.
Thank you, counsel. In regards to
She's talking about a request for bail or a request for bonds.
the next hearing date, how about October 30th at 10 a.m.?
That works for the state, Your Honor. Thank you.
October
That's fine
30th
for the
at 10
defense, Your
a.m.
Honor.
Is that Halloween?
All right. Now, as we are at the beginning, anything further from counsel from either side?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
No, Your Honor, thank you.
As we are at the beginning of this case, it is my intent to only speak when I'm needed or it is necessary. But today I do wish to provide guidance and expectations that you can have for
No,
this
it's the
court.
day before Halloween.
And wish to enter an order as well. As this case moves forward, Mr. Robinson's constitutional rights will be protected at every stage. He sits before this court presumed innocent, and that presumption remains unless and until each element of every offense charged against him is proved beyond a reasonable doubt. At the same time, and as applicable, victims are entitled under our Constitution to be treated with fairness, respect, and dignity, free from harassment or abuse. Justice demands that both of these principles, the rights of the accused and the rights of victims, be honored without compromise. I remain steadfast in my oath that I made 56 days ago to support and defend the constitutions of the United States and of Utah. I will carry out my duties with fidelity, transparency, and impartiality, treating every person who appears before me with the dignity and respect they are inherently due because they are human beings.
This dude
Let me
is
be clear.
serious. This judge is serious.
I will not put my finger on the scale of justice. These proceedings will be open to the public, conducted in accordance with the law, and handled with diligence and competence to ensure that justice is never compromised. It is the standing order of this court that
Man, I can go down to the courtroom on October 30th.
Mr. Robinson shall be allowed to appear in person so he can fully engage with his attorneys and
It's gonna be
participate in these legal proceedings. Counsel, regardless of who is watching, whether it is the nation
Everybody's watching.
or a single individual, we must fulfill our roles with integrity, civility, and diligence. I encourage each of you to give your very best to this case. Neither Mr. Robinson nor the people of Utah deserve anything less than the fair and impartial administration of justice. In regards to the next hearing, counsel, on that October 30th date at 10 a.m., it's the court's intent that be in person if it be the wish of counsel for the defense for Mr. Robinson to be present.
It is, Your Honor, thank you.
Thank you.
So he's going to be there in person
Counsel,
on
anything
October
else that we can
30th.
address today?
Your Honor, we appreciate the court's comments with respect to.
Which October 30th is just a preliminary hearing. They're going to go over discovery. They're going to introduce any new evidence that they've had over the 2 months. And then they're going to set another court date. Nothing's going to happen. No arguments are going to be made. Possibly a request for bail, but I don't think his public pretenders are stupid enough to do that. I doubt they're going to request a bail for him. Especially once all the evidence is in, they probably won't be able to request bail. But they're going to hold him. He's staying in jail. But that October 30th, again, nothing's going to happen really there.
Your Honor's rolling.
Nothing important. No arguments are going to be made. There's not going to be a trial. It's not the trial. It's a preliminary hearing. They're probably going to set multiple preliminary hearings for a long time before any sort of trial happens. Well, this is part of the trial, but I mean, like where there's a jury there and whatnot. If he even asks for a jury, maybe he doesn't want a jury trial. Maybe, I don't know. It's not looking like he's going to plead guilty.
In this case, in like matter, we commit to approach this case with integrity, with professionalism and civility. We are truth seekers. We will aggressively pursue the truth in this case. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, counsel, unless there's anything else, thank you for being here. This court is in recess.
All right, so that's the second court appearance. What else do we got? Candace Owens update on Brigitte Macron. Apparently, Brigitte Macron is coming to America with a DNA test. She's gonna prove she's got a penis one day. I mean, doesn't have a penis one day or another. Brigitte's gonna prove she has a vagina one way or the motherfucking other. She's coming to America. Candace Owens says she'll make Brigitte Macron submit to a medical exam over trans claim. Now, I don't have the report, But I did see a report that says Brigitte is going to come to America and is going to come with all the evidence that she does, in fact, have a vagina. Now, can that be tampered with? Are they powerful enough to tamper with that evidence and falsify it? Probably. She might still have a penis, even if the medical... I'm kidding. That's a joke, Brigitte. Don't sue me, please. You won't get anything out of me. I'm broke. I'm a brokey. All right. James Comey has been indicted. That's called vindication. That's called revenge. Let's go. Why the Comey indictment is different from the Biden DOJ's indictment of Trump. FBI Director James Comey was indicted Thursday. The news came just days after President Donald Trump forced out a U.S. attorney who declined to bring such charges, publicly pushed for the prosecutions of Comey and other political foes, and installed a loyalist who quickly gave him what he wanted. It's a remarkable breach of justice. This is CNN, remember. Breach of Justice Department norms that say a president isn't supposed to involve themselves in prosecutions, particularly those in which they have a political interest. But this breach has been met. Oh, rules for thee, but not for me. It's okay when Biden goes after his political opponents and sets that precedent. But when Trump does the same thing, oh, now all of a sudden it's a breach of justice. This breach has been on many portions of the right by shrugs. Has met on many portions of the right by shrugs. The prevailing argument is some version of, well, Joe Biden started it. Hey, I'm psychic. I haven't even read this yet, and somehow I knew that's what I said. Predictable, I guess. Trump on Friday said he expected more indictments of his perceived political enemies while adding, as an apparent justification, they weaponized the Justice Department like nobody in history. So I'm just doing what they did. They started it. You started it, Biden. I'm going to finish it. Let's go. Yet there are very important differences between the Comey indictment and the Biden department's justice handling of Trump. Whatever one thinks of the decision to indict a then former president, this is a major escalation in Trump's ongoing politicization of the justice system and a broader... Wait, you saying this is worse than Trump going after a former and future president? This Comey thing is somehow worse than that? This is retarded. Anyway, so Comey's been indicted. Next, we got to get Obama and the Clintons.
Oh, the murderers. Yeah.
Oh, Clinton, he murdered a guy.
Okay. And then one last rapid fire news story. Trump says he's going to says the U.S. is going to impose a 100% tariff on movies made outside of the country. Sorry, Bollywood. No more trash Indian remakes of our great cinematic history, okay? If you want to make movies in damn foreign countries, you're going to have to pay. And also, for people who are like, well, Hollywood's nasty and trashy and, you know, why would Trump care about this? Dude, he's got Sylvester Stallone and who is it? Who are the three guys? Mel Gibson, Sylvester Stallone, and Jon Voight as the ambassadors of Hollywood. So we got Jon Voight, we got the boy, Mel Gibson, and we got Rambo, we got Rocky coming in here cleaning up Hollywood. Okay? We got the conspiracy theory patriot, Braveheart. We got Rocky, Rambo, and we got Jon Voight coming in here cleaning up Hollywood. What the heck's Jon Voight in? I know who Jon Voight is, and he's based, but I don't know. I can't think of any Jon Voight movies. But we're going to clean up Hollywood. We're going to make Hollywood great again. We're going to stop making our films in foreign countries. Disney, no more turning everybody gay and black. Foreign countries, no more taking over our movie industry. I'm sure some people are going to make some connections with the juice on this one, but we got Rocky and Braveheart cleaning up Hollywood. So hopefully some good comes out of this. But that said, that is all I got for you guys. I don't have time to do I don't have time to do debate prep. Throughout the week, we'll be doing little debate prep streams. First step is make a folder with all, and then second step is take notes from my folder of all stats and information I need to commit to memory so that I can spit it out quickly. Third step is to write an opening. And then fourth step is to, I don't know if we're going to review any Terry Act debates because every time I go on VK, he's there. So I don't know. But maybe we'll review some other drug legalization debates. I've watched a lot of them. But I have to watch Braveheart again. I haven't watched it since I was little. It's a good movie. But I got to go, guys. Thank you all for hanging out. I got to go to work. I think Easy's doing a debate right now. If I saw that date right. Let me see. Yeah, he's debating right now. So we'll go watch that. And God bless you guys. Thank you all for hanging out. I appreciate it. We had good numbers today. And then I think probably once that debate started, a lot of people went over and started watching that. But we're keeping the numbers up really high in the beginning. Thank you guys for the super chats, the memberships. If you didn't hit like or subscribe, make sure you do that. I just got here. This is when the show ends every Monday, ZT Den. It's 6 to 9 Mountain Time. I got to go to work. But thank you for stopping by. Hit the like button while you're here, and we'll raid you over to Speakeasy. God bless, guys. Have a good day. I got to go. We out. Oh, yeah, the world's a crazy place. The world's a crazy place. I just reported on it. I just report on it. If you like it, tell a friend. If you hate it, tell everybody. Dreaded Conservative show every Monday night, 6 to 9 Mountain Time.